look who's strolling in the nick of time, thinking that he gets, a little bit of leeway because he had a hose camera shoved up his butt on Friday?
Why does he need leeway?
Yeah. Oh.
Listen, I was doing another medical procedure in the office.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. What was
before the
that?
show.
What was that?
It's clipping my fingernails.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Got little shards of them flying everywhere.
Yeah, that's all I need. That's all I need to hear. All right, welcome, everybody. MJ Morning Show. MJ and the crew here on a Monday morning. Yeah, my flight was about 2 hours late yesterday. We got out on time. We landed in Philadelphia early on Friday. And then, coming back from Philly last night, just running late. Supposed to be back about 8:30 and didn't get back till about 10:30, which, a couple hours on a Sunday night when you got to, prepare and then Frontier doesn't have Wi-Fi on their planes.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, for the most part, listen, the Frontier experience was okay. I'm a little ticked about the 2-hour delay. I don't know what happened on the other end. The flight was coming from Charlotte to Philly. It was late getting out of Charlotte. I mean, who knows what happened? But, once we were in the air, everything was fine. I had no issue at all with Frontier. 0-0-0. Michelle, we were back in coach, obviously. It's all they have. They have the upgraded, larger seats up front, but we just had, regular coach. We all three of us, Chloe, Michelle, and myself, we ended up in an exit row, which had plenty of leg room, so it was great. I think she paid a couple of extra bucks.
Yeah.
On the bundle, because you got to pay to carry on a bag. You get the personal item, but you got to pay to carry on. But listen, all in all, the Frontier experience was fine. It's our first time flying Frontier since they went ultra low-cost carrier, kind of like Spirit. And listen, you know what to expect, and, things were, things were fine. I had no issue whatsoever. All right, so Bucs lost. Did not get a chance to watch any of the Bucs game. We were, obviously in the last hours up in Philly. Did not get a chance to watch. In fact, was running all around. And I think we were at the airport, during the delay, that I finally said, oh, man, Bucs played. What's the deal? What happened? And then I checked, and I saw the Bucs got beaten by the Falcons 31-26.
Yeah, it was a good game, but the Bucs lost.
Yeah, and that's a big deal because the Falcons have beaten them twice now. So that means they have to beat them with their schedule to stay ahead of them in the NFC South.
Yeah, so the Bucs are out.
Bucs
are
just give up the season.
Well, Bucs are. Oh, let me finish the sentence. The Bucs are out of first place. Obviously,
right.
That would have solidified a hold if they would have beaten the Falcons in first place. So they're out. And listen, I don't know how good we're gonna be heading toward or chasing a playoff berth. Maybe a wild card will be our best bet. But hey, what was the play? And I saw a clip late last night. What was the deal? A Falcons touchdown that was then knocked out of the hands of the Falcon right at the end zone and maybe prior to crossing the end zone line, which would indicate a fumble and maybe not a touchdown. That could have been a changer.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts almost fumbles away an easy touchdown.
Yesterday. So what was the deal? So the officials got it wrong, and was it not a challenge to the play for it to be reviewed? Again, I'm at a disadvantage. I didn't see any of this game last night. So, Fessy, you watched the game?
I watched half the game.
Well, did you see the end zone potential fumble?
I saw it on a recap. I didn't see it as it happened.
Roxanne, did you see it live?
No, but I did. I saw highlights, but I did see a Florida Highway Patrol trooper who was knocked down during the final play of the Bucs-Falcons game.
I've got that story coming.
He has a broken ankle.
Yeah, got that story.
Guy.
Yeah, got that story coming up. I'm more
but
concerned.
I didn't see this play.
Here's Kyle.
Hold on. So none of you guys really. So I'm the one traveling, and I have an excuse not to see the game, and neither of you guys watched. What were you guys doing that you didn't watch the game?
Living my best life.
I was living.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was living Roxanne's best life
yes.
as well. No, yesterday I had a pack of hot dogs that were frozen during Milton, but thawed, and I kept it refrigerator temperature.
Yeah.
So I had the 3-pound bundle of Nathan's hot dogs.
My God, would you feed the neighborhood?
The 24-pack? No.
What'd you do with 24 hot dogs?
I had to cook them because they've been in my refrigerator for.
What, are you going to have hot dogs for the next week and a half?
I told the kids, I go, listen.
Dogs.
I'm glad you guys like the hot dogs today. Tomorrow's hot dog chili. And then, I'll come up with hot dog casserole or something by Wednesday. But Kyle Pitts, the tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, as he's crossing the goal line, he kind of just lets go of the ball.
Well, it looks like it was tapped out. No,
he lets it go.
I don't listen. You got to slow that down because it looks like
let's go to the replay booth.
Well, no, it looks like one of the Bucs players actually has his hands on it and knocks it out.
Is it in the left hand?
See, look, he's right there.
It's in his left hand.
He kind of lets it go.
He lets it go. Yeah, no, Bucs player, his arm is reaching over, but I don't think it was his hand that bopped it from that angle.
And there was just no clear visual evidence, and it's a touchdown, right? I mean, there?
No, dude, he drops the ball before he crosses the line.
It was too close to call.
No, it was not. I'm looking at the replay right now. Why didn't they go to a replay? Why didn't New York look at the video? Because it looks like the Falcons player drops the – well, listen, you got to look. You've got the Buccaneers' arm underneath his left armpit. So it looks like there could have been some interaction with the Buck that caused that early release. But he drops the ball. He lets go of the ball, it looks like, before he crosses into the end zone.
They gave him the touchdown.
Well, but looking at the tape, he probably shouldn't have gotten the touchdown. So why
is his toe on the line right there?
Yeah, see that.
If his toe is on the white line, then that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, in the video angle that I saw, it didn't look like it was literally a quarter inch before the line.
Right there.
It looks like just before the end zone white line.
He's holding the ball, and they're saying that is touching the line at that freeze frame that we're looking at right now.
But again, I'm not looking right down to see, but from this angle, it looks like he might have dropped the ball prematurely before crossing.
But his toe is on the line right there, and the ball's in his hand.
The point is, we don't know. We can't see if the toe is right on the line.
So the one angle they needed across the goal line,
we don't have.
They didn't have.
Yeah.
Well,
so
they forgot that camera.
Whoops.
All
right, 6:07 at the MJ Morning Show as we just get rolling on a Monday morning. It's a busy Monday show. It's a whole new week of MJ Morning Show crap casting. So stand by for more crap. Coming up in minutes, 6:08, traffic's on, and we are back momentarily. Stand by.
Most of Tampa.
6:20 at the MJ Morning Show. MJ and Fester and Roxanne, Andrew in the booth. A busy Monday show. Hey, online reviews. Do you pay attention to these? Do you look at, online reviews when it comes to purchases on Amazon or other websites? Do you take a look?
I'm more of if a friend gives a good recommendation, I'm more apt to do it.
But what if it's a product that you're buying exclusively and you don't have a friend that has purchased the product? Because not every item you want is going to be purchased by a friend where you can rely on their opinion.
Well, at Amazon, I might look at the total number of stars. I might look at the total, but I don't really go in and read individual reviews unless there's a specific feature of that product that I need to understand.
All right, because there has been a bit of a scandalous situation over the years where, and we've discussed this, and I know I'm aware of it, where there are fake reviews, and sometimes the seller will concoct fake reviews to jam up the number of stars, the number of reviews, and jam up the display of the stars, like 4, 4.5, whatever. The reason why I bring this up is I had this in the pile last week. I just didn't get around to it, but I think it's very important because we all do online shopping. I wonder if there's anyone listening right now that does no online shopping and they are 100% brick and mortar.
I bet you there's somebody listening right now who doesn't even have like a cell phone or a computer, but they
just
can't call in.
Yeah. So you're saying that the Amish listeners, they're getting in their horse and buggy and they're going down to the general store?
Why would they shop online when they have everything they need at the general store?
They make their own pants.
Well, there you have it. Or you just make your own pants.
I got into a jam once with an Amish person over this show.
What's that?
I went to one of my favorite restaurants.
Yep.
Yoder's in
Sarasota.
Sarasota, right? That little Pineville or whatever that, Pine Ridge, whatever that area neighborhood, Pinecrest, that neighborhood in Sarasota where the Amish live.
Yoder's Sarasota, phenomenal place.
So I'm there.
Haven't been there in a while, but has he ever, the owner, did he ever reach out again? Because he was a good, big fan of the MJ Morning Show back in the day. And Michelle and I and the kids, we went down there several times.
Yeah. I can't speak to the fact that if he does or doesn't have a phone. I don't know.
I'm sure he does.
I don't know. So
they have electricity at the restaurant, Fester.
I was there. Yes. I saw the manager. I get a seat, and I get the waitress comes over. She's lovely, and she goes, "Oh, so you know the manager?" And I forget his name now, but I was like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, how does he know you?" I was like, "Well, I work on a radio show," and then she goes, "Oh," I go, and then there's a pause, and I was like, "Not that you would know that, because you probably don't have a radio."
Well, listen, not everyone that works there is Amish, and not all Amish follow some of the stricter rules, like no zippers. Was that a thing? No zippers. You got to have buttons, and
I think you can't make a zipper.
No modern technology. No cars.
You've never seen an Amish more offended than when I told her she didn't have a radio.
Hey, I just ordered another 10-pound box of broken, unsalted, special hard pretzels from the Amish up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Those ought to be here probably tomorrow.
She looks right at me and she goes,
waiting for Bobby, the UPS guy, to drop off my 10-pound box of, that's a great snack, man. I'll tell you what, those Amish hand-rolled pretzels, and I get the big bag. It's like a big plastic bag of broken pieces. Oh, that's the best.
Yeah, well, you know what? They don't listen
to the best,
to
Jerry. I tell you, it's the best. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, you done?
Yes.
Okay. So they're probably not listening to
Are you done?
You know what? Yeah, I am.
Right,
what the hell are we talking about?
Go ahead. So finish your story.
I just offended the Amish woman by saying, do you have a radio? And she's like, yeah, I have a radio.
Well, I don't think everyone that works there is Amish.
I found that out the hard way.
Well, there you have it.
So I don't see how anybody buys anything online without these online reviews.
So the reason why I'm bringing up online reviews, let me go back to where we started. The FTC has now banned officially fake online reviews. And there are tons of fakes out there. Listen, if you got a friend that runs a business, regardless of what it is, whatever. If you got a friend that runs a business, and let's say it's brand new and suddenly reviews start popping up, And then you look and see that the reviewers, it's like their first review, it's their second review. Come on, that's, clear.
That's sus.
You also, exactly, and you have to look at that. When someone leaves a review, especially on Google, are they a local guide? Do they have a bunch of reviews? Or just unbelievably, this is their first review. First review. All right, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that fake online reviews are now banned by the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, and that went into effect last week. In August, the Federal Trade Commission issued a ruling prohibiting the sale or purchase of online reviews. Under the rule, the agency can also seek civil penalties against individuals who violate the policy. According to the Associated Press, the rule bans reviews and testimonials credited to people who do not exist or are manufactured using artificial intelligence. Also, individuals who do not have experience with the business or product or services or misrepresent their experience. The rule also bars companies from creating or selling reviews or testimonials. Businesses that knowingly buy fake reviews, earn them from company insiders, or disseminate fake reviews will be penalized. It also discourages businesses from using unfounded or groundless legal threats, physical threats, intimidation, or certain false public accusations. So you also can't really lash. If somebody leaves a legitimate bad review,
that's it.
I mean, you can't go after them and threaten their lives and then send Paulie Walnuts after them.
So I've seen a lot of reviews. I feel like I've seen it on Walmart.com where it would say in really, really small letters, this review is part of a promotion. So I instantly think the person who received this item or has this item got it for free.
Yeah, throw it out.
And they're going to leave a great review.
Yeah. When determining if an online review is authentic or fake, the Federal Trade Commission says that they ought to check a few things, like check the source of the review. How about some additional helpful tips and tips?
And hints. Were you saying hints or tips?
Both and hips.
I was saying both, and it ended up that way.
Because hips don't lie.
Yeah. So the agency also offers these helpful hints and tips. Consumers should check how recent the reviews are and watch for a burst of reviews over a brief time. That can sometimes mean the reviews are fake. They also note that you should monitor if the reviewer has written other reviews. That's what I was pointing out. If so, read those, get a better sense of how to trust the reviewer and how much. If it seems the reviewer has created an account just to write one review for one product, that review might be fake.
Yeah.
Sometimes people incentivize the end user and say, hey, here's a gift card. Will you write a review for me?
Oh, yeah, I've had that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I bought something recently, and they said, hey, if you write a good review, we'll... Can't remember what it was, but they were offering... I think they're offering like $10 or something. Like they'll Venmo you $10 for a good review. I'm like, wow.
I remember years ago I had cabinets put in the house, and the price changed with what I would do for them on social media. They're like, if you leave a 5-star rating on Angie.com,
we'll knock $25 off the job.
But the price got better, and he's like, if you leave a comment on Yelp about us, we'll do this, we'll do this, and the price got lower with the more I would do for him.
If you let us write the review for you, and you just post it, give you $35 off the cabinet job.
Well, that's a deal because time is money.
Well, but then I held him hostage. I go, why don't you give me all the discounts, or I'll go on the services and tell him what a turd you are. And he's like, okay.
Come on, that's blackmail, man.
So what's he doing to me? He's holding me hostage. What's my review on Allergy.com?
Let me see what the FTC says about blackmail.
Let's go.
All right.
I was like, how about you give me all those reviews, all those discounts since you have them available?
Also, remember, fake reviews are not always positive. You could have somebody that just has a beef, a vendetta against a business. We've seen this before. We've like rivals. You've had stories of rivals leaving bad reviews of other businesses, whether it's a restaurant or a service. There have been absolutely places that are competitors that leave nasty reviews. I've heard this multiple times. You got to be careful. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, it changed as of last week. The FTC has now banned fake online reviews. And with all the online purchasing and so many people looking at these reviews online, that is some good inflammation right there, baby. All right, 6:30 at the MJ Morning Show. I'm staring at what appears to be a very tasty pile of morons in the news. In fact, you're going to love the morons in the news so much next, you're going to want to leave a really, really good online review for Morons in the News Incorporated. which is next here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. Hey,
I am definitely ready.
Roxanne, you ready?
Ooh, yes. Ready.
Well, let's go. Morons in the news.
Yeah.
Hockey season just started pretty recently.
Yeah.
What would we have to do to have the Tampa Bay Lightning have you do intros?
Well, first of all, they'd have to let me in on that $20 million, which has been slated with Vinnick's sale of the Lightning to private equity. The $20 million that they're, I guess, splitting among all the employees, kind of a thank you bonus.
How awesome is that?
I wonder how much Versnick gets on that deal. I got to call him up and ask.
I mean, if he's telling the team he's getting billions, hockey teams are worth billions.
Yeah, I think it's it was like a $2 billion. Hey, Andrew, you're all up on this. You're all up and through the panties of the Lightning. Andrew, how much did the Lightning sell for? Was that disclosed to the private equity group?
It's sold.
Andrew,
Vinnick's groups. It's sold.
How much?
$1.8 billion.
Yeah, almost $2 billion.
Sorry, Andrew.
So listen, that was very nice. I guess there's like a $20 million pot that's going to be distributed to Lightning employees as kind of a parting gift.
So Lightning,
like on The Price is Right.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, that's a lovely parting gift, $50,000.
Oh yeah.
They have 300 employees.
All right. So hang on a minute. Let me do 20 mil. I don't know if everyone's getting the same amount or if it's like merit based or whatever the story is. So if I take $20 million, I divide it by how many employees?
300.
300. Ooh, that's the deal from the devil. It's $66,666.66.
Ooh.
Actually, it goes 6666666666666
to infinity.
This is all Damien Omen 2 right here. That's what this is. No, it's a very nice gesture, but I don't know if it's like an equal distribution or if it's, more valuable players get, more money. Maybe it's how long you've been with the Lightning organization.
I mean, what if you're like the last guy on board?
Yeah, you just started last Thursday.
You just figured out how to work the coffee maker.
You get $9.
Yeah,
get $8.50.
$6.66.
There you go, 666 cents. Let's do some early morons in the news at 6:41. Oh my God, this is awful. A guy killed his coworker because she took breaks that were too long. What the? I mean, listen, this is obviously much more serious than just the typical morons in the news story, but this is crazy. Louisville, Texas, guy accused of murdering his coworker inside an office last week, allegedly was pissed off, obsessed, angry that she was taking work breaks that he thought were too long.
Yeah, I am sure there's more to it than that.
Travis Merrill, 51, arrested after police said that he shot and killed Tamara Colazzo at her desk inside a place called Allegiance Trucks. The hell do they do?
Something with trucking.
Thank you. No, but it doesn't say trucking. It says trucks. They must sell trucks. I don't know if they build trucks. I don't know if I've ever heard of the Alliance brand. Oh, I'm sorry, Allegiance brand. Yeah, the business shares a parking lot. This is insane.
They're a dealership.
Okay. The business shares a parking lot with the local police department. What the? It's the Louisville, Texas Police Department's temporary headquarters. So the cops were there within a minute because it was right in their parking lot.
Yeah.
And they tried desperately to revive the woman, but she didn't make it. According to an arrest warrant affidavit, Merrill told detectives in an interview that he was obsessed with Colazzo and began getting ever increasingly angry by her taking what he considered to be unauthorized long breaks during work hours, as well as not paying any attention to him. This guy's a psycho mental case.
Yeah, this guy's not well.
I wonder how many people listening right now have a psycho that they work with. I mean, absolutely bona fide. Or maybe you're the psycho.
I mean, I could think
how many psychos do we have listening to us right now?
Yeah.
I can think of 2 people, maybe 3, that work closely with a person that's probably on the psycho spectrum.
Who's that?
Oh, Roxanne, Andrew, and myself.
Well, what the hell are you saying?
I'm saying you might be,
get out of here.
In the psycho family.
That's nuts. Hey, it's campaign season. You know what goes on a lot during campaign season with all those campaign signs?
Litter.
Well, I'm thinking of something different.
If you're going to say sign stealing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking.
I saw an amazing video like a week ago.
Yeah, what'd you say? Maybe it's the same story that I'm about to do.
It was one of the presidential candidates.
Right.
And I guess the person affixed like a strip of wood with nails over it.
The shocker sign?
No.
Oh.
No,
there's also some people are electrifying the sign, so if you go to try to steal the sign, that you get a shock, you get a jolt.
I saw one where they had like nails like on the bottom of the sign.
So you grab the sign and then you get cut and you get
you drive
pierced.
over it. You drive over it and it pops 2 of your tires.
Oh.
So you hit the sign, you think,
wait a second. Oh, you're talking about the larger signs or?
No, like the little yard signs that are on those little wire flimsy things that are made of that.
People are veering off the road and running over those yard signs?
Well, you're in the neighborhood, and you just kind of up the
I'm
curb.
not a fan of that candidate. Hang on, let me just drive over their lawn and knock down all their political signs.
What? I'm not voting for that person. Let me take that out. People are really passionate about this.
Anyway, so I've heard there was a guy, I think there have been a couple of stories like this, of people that were electrifying the signs because of sign theft. All right, so that's, yeah, exactly. I've got a sound effect for that. Yes.
No, stop that. We have a sound effect.
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, that's the new sound effect.
Oh, that's much better than anything I have. Hang on, let me listen to the real sound effect. All right, now Roxanne. Oh, yeah, it's much better.
Mine's better.
I like Roxanne.
Go ahead and record that and put that on a sound effects library. Let's use that in a next blockbuster action thriller movie where they need an electrocution or electric arcing sound.
Just go to the sound booth.
Yeah, right there. Go ahead, Roxanne. Okay, Roxanne, let's bring in Roxanne. Go ahead. There we go.
Done. Cut.
Now,
Perfect.
the reason why I'm bringing this up is this person was sick and tired of their signs getting stolen.
Yeah.
They put one of those Apple AirTag tracking devices on the sign. And then, they caught the person red-handed. Yeah, this was in Springfield, Missouri. Woman said she used the small tracking device to locate a presidential campaign sign that somebody allegedly took from her yard. And during the search, it uncovered a car trunk filled with more stolen signs. Yeah. Laura McCaskill of Springfield said she not only found her presidential campaign sign and the candidates of her choice, but confronted the person who apparently had a whole trunk full of signs. Yeah, this woman had 4 signs stolen from her yard. So after number 3, she said, you know what? I'm going to AirTag this sign and put one of those little AirTags on there, and boom, was taken right to the location. When the sign was stolen, the tracker led them to a restaurant and then eventually to the home of, do I have the individual? I thought I had the individual's name. No. It was the city. It led them to a nearby city called Nixa.
Okay.
Nixa, Missouri. Yeah. They rang the doorbell, and apparently the partner of the woman recognized the car that was in the driveway. After speaking with a neighbor, they managed to get in touch with a woman who came outside to speak with McCaskill. We said hello. We said, hey, we think that you have something in that car that was taken from our neighborhood. According to McCaskill, the woman said the car belonged to her son. McCaskill said she showed the young man the tracker on her phone, indicating the AirTag was nearby. He then told McCaskill that, yeah, your sign's in the trunk of my car. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
I expected just to find my sign with the AirTag. Instead, there were 59 other signs in the trunk. What, did she sit there and count them? 1 political sign, 2 political sign, 3 political signs, 4 political. I mean,
leave the signs alone, people. I mean, what do we have? Another week left of this? Week and a day?
Tomorrow is 1 week away.
I saw my first Jill Stein for president sign this weekend.
Oh, you did.
Oh, she's Green Party or Liberty. Anyway, there's a funny story about that. There was a debate. We'll play this later on. There was a debate, and I think she was part of it. It was out in California. There was a live televised debate.
Right. And
the woman singing the national anthem live at the beginning messed up and goes, "Oh, F. Oh, F, I effed up." And can I start again?
Yeah.
And so I was like, no, we're live.
Take 2.
Yeah, I've got that audio.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I got the audio. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Hey, Fesser, this is a guy after your heart. A guy caught on surveillance camera stealing $167 worth of beef jerky.
Dude, that's a lot of beef jerky. It's not that much beef jerky. Have you seen the prices of beef jerky?
Beef jerky's always been expensive. I remember when I was a kid.
I'll tell you what it is. It's a lot of sodium.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, some product. That's why, you ought to, if you have an air fryer or air dryer or whatever, make your own damn beef jerky.
I got to say, I'm not a beef jerky fan. If I never have beef jerky again in my life, I'll be fine.
What about turkey jerky?
Any kind of jerky. Well, not any kind of jerky.
It's just too dry. Like when I want a piece of meat, I'd prefer that it be like,
yeah,
medium rare. Why do I want to even dry it up like the leather of my shoe?
Or I'll have like a pepperoni or something like that, or a cured meat, but not
beef jerky time.
Name that movie.
Beef jerky time.
Is that Trading Places?
It is. That is correct.
Dan Aykroyd, the woman who had the thing on her shoulder.
Eddie Murphy also. Come on. That's Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, Dan Aykroyd, and wasn't there a rumor about Jamie Lee Curtis?
No.
Okay. Well, Jamie Lee.
Well, there was a rumor about her like being equipped with both, but that's not true.
I mean, I've seen almost all of her. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Time. You want some beef jerky?
Oh, please.
There's plenty,
There's 2 old men. Great movie.
I saw that recently. It was like on one of the networks. And, there's certain movies that when you're just flipping through the channels, even if it's laced with commercials, there are certain movies you just can't turn away from.
Yeah.
All right, so
Eddie Murphy movies. He does a lot of good ones.
Police in Colorado looking for a guy that stole $167 worth of beef jerky from a supermarket. Yeah, this is Wheat Ridge, Colorado. We get it. Beef jerky is expensive and delicious. Doesn't mean you should steal it. That's what the Wheat Ridge, Colorado Police Department said on their Facebook page. Yeah, it happened at a King Supers, King Shoplifters, northwest of Denver. So if anyone has any information on the festival, what were you doing? Did you really go for a colonoscopy, or did you just go out to the Denver area and steal $167 worth of beef jerky?
He just said he doesn't like it.
Yeah, let's get something straight.
Yep.
I'm not going to steal from a place, but if they're giving it for free, I'll take more than my allotted amount.
Hey, I don't know what it is. It's 6:52, but I don't know what is going on, but I have this crazy pile of just like ridiculous air travel related stories. And listen, I just flew last night. We flew out on Friday. We flew back in late last night. So kind of fitting. I didn't have any of this behavior on my flight. I'm going to start off next with a seatmate, a roommate from hell. And then we'll get to that. Where's my effect? From hell. Yeah, we'll get to that next. 6:52 MJ Morning Show here on Q105. Hey, my friends at WeatherTight Windows. It has arrived, the famous 7 o'clock hour. Why is it famous? Because we are here. And also, we start an hour and 20 minutes of Nonstop MJ coming up at about 7:25. We do that every single morning. Hour and 20 minutes plus of Nonstop MJ. So I flew over the weekend. Michelle and I went up to Philly, take care of a little business. So we're up in the Philadelphia area. And we flew back last night. Going up Frontier, no issues. Coming back, listen, pleasant flight. We were just delayed 2 hours because something happened with the flight getting out of Charlotte. That was the plane we needed. Anyway, so we got home about 2 hours later than I wanted. Got home about 10:45 last night, close to 11. And we should have been home around 8:30. So,
Meh.
But listen, flying Frontier was fine. And the reason why we flew Frontier is the times worked for us. Well,
not so much.
Well,
the time you booked.
On paper, the times worked for us. In reality, well, we got up just fine. It was coming back that we were delayed a little bit. All right, so I mentioned I had a weird collection of air travel related stories. You want to hear about a seatmate from hell on a Delta flight? So this guy posts on Reddit. He had all kinds of like frequent traveler and airplane story Reddit threads going. If you can think of it, if you can think of the most obscure thing, there's probably some kind of discussion going on Reddit about it. So listen to this. Delta Airlines. Passenger wrote about his roommate, his seatmate, and this was like business class. So you only have two seats. You have two business class seats right next to each other in this particular aircraft configuration. And the passenger took to Reddit and starts telling the story about what was going on. And this was a Detroit to Phoenix flight. This was first class, actually. And we're just getting some of the details. Let me just read like a verbatim quote. Flying first class from Detroit to Phoenix, and the guy sitting next to me was a hot mess. I realized halfway through the flight that he had spilled all of his snacks. And not only did he not clean them up, he was grinding them into the carpet with his feet.
On purpose.
I mean, what else do you do?
Oh my
I mean,
gosh.
if you can't pick them up, you just kind of...
Well, you bend over, you pick them up. What do you think? You're going to grind them into little bits? And the carpet is going to absorb all the crumbs? You're going to make the snacks disappear by grinding it into the carpet?
Oh, gross.
What the hell?
Does he do that in his own house?
Exactly. You're sitting on your couch watching some weekend sports, and you spill pretzels and potato chips.
Just grind it in.
I'll just jam them right into the tuft of the carpet. You'll never know. That's ridiculous. So then he's got apparently all kinds of newspapers and magazines that he's brought, and they're all jammed out of the seat. Like, you know, the little pouch in front of you. It's all like... it's like a giant flower bouquet, apparently. All the newspapers all coming out of the seat.
All right, so it doesn't sound like the seatmate from hell as much as a super slob
Yeah.
seatmate.
Wait a second. It takes another turn.
Okay, I'm expecting more.
Oh, there's more. So halfway through the flight, he starts seeing these little issues, including his AirPods have gone missing. So you have the armrest separating the two passengers, and it's a larger armrest. It's not like the little thin armrest back in coach. In first class or business class, you've got a thicker, wider armrest, which is more like a mini tray or a mini little countertop. So this guy that wrote about the passenger seatmate from hell, he had his AirPods on that little center console area. And guess what?
What?
He gets up and his AirPods are gone.
The guy shoved him up his butt.
Well, close. When he gets back to his chair, his AirPods are gone. So he thought maybe he knocked them down. Maybe they fell between the seat, whatever. He hit the Find My alarm, didn't hear anything. So I guess he did it again, and finally the alarm, and I don't have AirPods, but my kids do. But is there a feature you can find? I know there's like the find your phone, find your remote control.
Yeah, there's an alert feature where you can find your stuff. Yeah, sure.
Finally, here's the beeping coming from inside the guy's jacket pocket.
This guy's a wreck.
Exactly. The guy ripped off and then confronts him. Hey, I think you have my AirPods in your jacket. I'm hearing the beeping coming from there. And the guy says, oh, man, I thought those were mine. But wait a minute. Then the owner of the AirPods says, but wait a minute, those are 3 generations older. How do you not know the difference?
Yeah.
My God, this guy's like stealing his stuff, making a mess of the row, No attempt to clean it up.
What if he'd put them in his ear? Would you take earbuds back from a stranger who put your earbuds in their ear? That's pretty gross,
with
right?
all their nasty-looking, Fig Newton-looking earwax in there.
I mean, especially this guy.
We've secretly taken earwax from Jerry's ears and placed them in a Fig Newton. Let's see if anyone can tell the difference.
Oh, ick. We eat
That'd
a
be
lot
funny.
of Fig Newtons around our house.
Yeah,
That's
or
disgusting.
I like Fig Newtons.
Me too.
I like them. So take like some tines of a fork and just pull out a bunch of the filling from a Fig Newton and just jam it in your ear and walk around and see if anybody says anything. And then if someone says something, you grab it and then you put it in your mouth. Oh, this is delicious.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Try it.
So anyway, that is a seatmate from freaking hell. And then, of course, you always have the idiot on an airplane that doesn't want to close the window shade. It's middle of the day. You're at 38,000 feet. The sun is like blaring in. You ever have that experience where there's like one person that the whole cabin has closed the shades?
Yeah, I'm that one
It's the worst.
person.
One person doesn't want to close the shades.
I want to look at the quilted patchwork of farmlands that we call Middle America.
What if you're above the clouds? Do you want to watch the quilted patchwork of like cotton balls?
You know what people say when they see someone like you with that window open? No plane etiquette. You don't travel much. You don't fly much. That's what I think. When I see someone with a window open, especially on a long flight, I'm like, this must be your first flight.
And
I was on with a girl, I told you this, coming back from Hong Kong, and everyone just gets on that flight ready to go to sleep, to, not have jet lag when you get back to the United States. And this girl next to me was rolling with the window open the whole time.
Oh, geez.
And finally, I just said to her, do you see everyone else around here?
Yeah.
Nobody has their window up.
I was on a flight like that. One of my internationals, probably in the last year or so, and similar situation. The whole cabin, it's bright, middle of the day, sun blaring in, and then you always, in some cases, depending on where the sun is in the sky, if the sun is like sort of parallel with the airplane, you can get that glare.
Yeah,
and it'll be like this ray of light that's like hitting some passenger like in the face. Like they're under a magnifying glass or something, and there's this one guy, and everyone kept asking him. I was on the left side of the plane. Then you have the center section. Then you have the right. This guy was off on the right, a little in front of me. It illuminated the cabin, but I didn't have any sunlight coming and piercing me in my retina. But they kept asking him to and he would like put it down for like. He'd pull the shade down for like 2 minutes and then push it back up. It was like nonstop the whole. And then you also have not only people sleeping, but you have people wanting to watch movies.
Yeah.
And then their screens are getting washed out because the sun is like shining in and totally bright. But now there's another story about window etiquette, about the debate. When you have a roommate or a seatmate or somebody in the cabin that just refuses. And then I think the deal was the flight attendant was asked to intervene, and then the flight attendant went over, and then the story circulating was, oh, he's a nervous flyer and needs to be able to look out.
Yeah, I'll give him something nervous to be nervous about.
On a 12-hour flight or whatever it was. It might have been, where did I go? It might have been to Indonesia or something, or maybe it was Maldives. It was a scuba trip.
It was a long trip.
It was one of my long-haul trips in the last year or two. And what a pain in the ass. The person that will not pull down the window shade. Unbelievable. Listen to this. You have an allergy, and they remove you from the plane.
Maybe the other passengers were allergic to that person as well.
Here.
This is interesting. Listen to this. Delta Airlines removed a flyer from her flight to Boston due to a shellfish allergy concern.
They're serving shellfish on the flight.
Listen, Ellie Brelis, a frequent flyer and Delta Rewards credit card holder, has a life-threatening shellfish allergy. And upon boarding a flight from Los Angeles to Boston Logan, a Delta medical representative removed her from the flight as shellfish was being served and cooked in first class.
How often does that happen?
What, they hand out the lobster bibs? What, were they steaming up lobsters?
Fish on a plane just doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, so Brelis is a frequent corporate traveler, carries an EpiPen wherever she goes.
Well, what's the issue then?
During the boarding of her flight to Boston, she informed the cabin crew, as usual, of her allergy. The flight attendant was immediately concerned as the first-class cabin was being served shellfish for their main meal. I'm guessing it was some shrimp dish.
Oh, I love raw oysters on a plane.
There's no
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Plain oysters are the best.
Especially in July.
Yes. Right. As somebody has their window open and it's just piercing a ray of light right at me. You know,
A recipe for death.
I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, you have the menu already planned. I mean, this is for her protection. Hey, let's get you on a flight that has like a chicken and vegetarian dish coming up in an hour and a half.
So the flight attendant was immediately concerned because shellfish was being served. She brought out another flight attendant into the discussion. All of a sudden, it became this really big commotion where they said that they were concerned because they were cooking shellfish. And listen, if that's the meal and you've got a flight and you've got first class or business class passengers and you've got a shellfish-based main entree, what do? We got to throw this whole, cart of food off the airplane?
Sorry, first class, no meal.
No lunch for you, no food for you because we've got one person with a shellfish allergy.
I mean, I'm all for making accommodations to make people feel welcome, but if you're the one person, it's for her protection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though this woman, Brelis, was not scheduled to travel in first class, the concern remained for the cabin crew, and it led to a Delta medical representative boarding the aircraft. What do they have, medical representatives just, hanging around LAX?
I bet you every major airport has somebody who can make a medical call.
Wow.
I bet you Tampa Airport has one.
Yeah, for sure.
So the representative boarding the aircraft asked Brelis to leave. So they asked her to leave the aircraft, that we're not going to inconvenience, let's say, 24 people in business class because you have a shellfish allergy, and she's like back in coach.
Okay, I don't think they positioned it like that. It was probably more along the lines of, hey, for your safety and protection, you're welcome to not board this flight.
We're going to move you to a later LAX to Boston flight where the main dish is chicken marsala.
I mean, there's got to be, 20 of those flights a day? I mean, you'll catch the next one.
I'm guessing it was a shrimp dish is what I'm guessing. And I guess my next question would be, what type of shrimp do you think they were serving?
Anyway, like I was saying,
Go through the list.
shrimp is the fruit of the sea. You can barbecue it, boil it, broil it, bake it, saute it. There's shrimp kebabs, shrimp creole, shrimp gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple shrimp, lemon shrimp, coconut shrimp, pepper shrimp, shrimp soup, shrimp stew, shrimp salad, shrimp and potatoes, shrimp burger, shrimp sandwich. That's about it.
I can think of a couple more. Hey, what about some shrimp etouffee? What about some? Did he say shrimp gumbo?
He did say
Oh,
shrimp
he did
gumbo.
say
Yeah,
shrimp
he did.
gumbo.
He did say
All right.
shrimp gumbo. Yes, old Bubba Gump. He knew a thing or two about shrimp.
Oh yeah, he did. So anyway, she was rebooked on a different airline.
Good. I mean, let's be glad the flight attendant raised such a flag instead of saying, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're in the back of the plane. You'll never smell it," and maybe put her in some kind of jeopardy.
That's just bizarre. 7:16 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ next. When we get back, Fester, there's this HBO thing that you want me to watch?
I saw it last week for the first time, and it's a theatrical ripoff of Morons in the News.
All right, wait a minute. All right,
It's a television production of Morons in the News.
All right, hang on. So someone's doing Our Morons in the News as a TV show on HBO?
It's really close,
all right,
and it's great.
Hold on to that thought. We'll get to that in just a second. Hey, how does Florida rank as far as divorce rates go?
Number one, baby.
Just hang on a minute.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
I thought you were,
Don't jump the gun
I thought
here.
you were planting some ideas in my old lady's head.
I didn't get to this on Friday. I was kind of pissed off. I meant to get to this on Friday's show. There is like this Jamie Foxx story that's come out, and I had it in the pile for Friday, and we finished the show, and I'm like, oh, man, I didn't get to that. So I got to do it. Jamie Foxx addresses something very, very strange regarding his crazy illness where I guess he almost died. Also, do you know what a normie is?
No.
What is a normie? Normie. What is a normie? And I'll add another word, celebrity and normie. Celebrity, you got to hear this. Celebrity plus normie, where the hell's this going? All right, that's among many other things that are coming up next. So don't move. An hour and 20 minutes nonstop MJ here on the MJ Morning Show on Q105. 104.7 FM starts next. It is 7:25 at the MJ Morning Show. We start an hour and 20 minutes nonstop MJ right now. All right, Fester, tell me about this HBO show. And you're saying that it's essentially Morons in the News on television? What is it? Explain.
All right, so it's on HBO Max. I think it's just called Max now. But the name of the show is It's Florida, then comma man. So it's kind of
the whole Florida man thing.
Right, which is,
Florida. The whole Florida man thing, I'm sure most people know. But all of those stories that would hit websites or the wire services or newspapers, and it was some crazy Florida story, and they just seemed to start out with, a Florida man did blah, 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 blank, blank, blank. Exactly.
So after a couple of thousands of those stories,
yes,
Florida man became a person.
A theme.
Yeah.
Florida man.
So It's Florida Man is a show that talks to the actual participants in a crazy event that happens somewhere in the state of Florida. And then it has actors reenact it as it's happening.
What?
So there's an interview with a guy, and he's the subject of this crazy.
What's the name of the show?
It's Florida Man.
It's Florida. It's comma man.
Oh, it's Florida Man.
It's not so. Yeah, It's Florida Man is the name of the show. There's 2 episodes. It's just out. I saw the first episode last week. It's like a half an hour episode, 24 minutes long. It's nuts. This story was crazy. And there was no arrests. There was no police report. So we would not have seen it in Morons in the News, but it really happened to this guy.
So they're true stories that are reenacted.
Yes.
Have you seen this?
No, but I feel like now that he pulled it up,
hold on. Did you even know about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. I've seen something advertising this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when you turn on HBO Max, it probably popped up or populated.
It just started?
There's 2 episodes. The second episode was released a couple days ago. The first story that I saw was named Toes.
Toes? What the hell's that about?
Dude, about this guy that has this fantasy about having his toes chopped off. And a guy.
What?
But you're watching.
And they reenact him having his toes chopped off?
Yes, and then what happens, and then they go through with it, or they don't, or the drama that happens.
There's a salad place up in New York called Chopped.
Yeah. Well,
CHOPT. You got like Sweet Green, which I think has expanded. Yeah, they've expanded here now, I think. But Chopped Okay, go ahead.
No, so
wasn't there a TV show called Chopped as well?
May have been
on like the Food Network.
So this guy has this fantasy of getting his toes chopped off, and another guy's looking for money, and and there was a whole backstory.
What, he wants to walk around and just nubs?
This was the fantasy.
Okay,
and it goes, but you're seeing like a staged interview with the actual participants in the story. How he met the guy, how he went to his place, the words they said, what was going on. And then there's actors kind of relaying it and making it happen in the background. A really creative show as far as I'm concerned. Really interesting.
What, half-hour episodes?
Yeah, 24 minutes. Yeah, and then the second episode just dropped. I have to watch it tonight, and it's from Mayaca City.
Gator.
Yeah. In Mayaca City.
What's this about?
I don't know. Here's the description. In Mayaca City, a search for a self-fulfillment ends with an encounter with Florida's least friendly reptile, a harrowing fight to survive.
With a gator.
With a gator. So who knows what it's, I mean, obviously it's about a gator in Mayaca City, but you're going to talk to the person who is actually involved with it, or you're going to see the interview with that person, and then you're going to watch actors comedically.
I'll have to put it on my watch list because I do have HBO. We do have Max.
It's a comedy show, too. I mean, there's a lot of funny stuff.
But are the reenactments, oh, you've only seen one episode, but the reenactments, are they serious or they're comical?
Comical.
Or are they comical just because of the subject matter, or they actually do it and present it in a comical fashion?
It's almost like a trippy recollection.
How do you make wanting to have your toes cut off as part of a fantasy? How do you make that funny?
Watch it. Give it tonight.
Okay.
Watch episode 1. You can probably watch. You can watch both episodes in an hour.
Okay. All right, 7:30 at the MJ Morning Show. You're listening to 104.7 FM. I'm MJ with Roxanne and Fester and Andrew, our producer, and we've just launched an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ. Divorce rates. Do you think, true or false, Florida is among the highest divorce rate states? Yes or no?
Oh, man.
I'm going to guess yes.
That would be absolutely wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Not?
As a matter of fact, I've got the highest. This is a quickie here. I'm not going to belabor this. But do you know what state has the highest divorce rate? Take a guess.
What state?
State with the highest rate of divorce.
Alaska.
It is.
You're setting
Alaska?
this up.
It is Alaska.
Something we would never expect.
Yep.
Okay.
Alaska state with the highest number of divorces per capita last year. So why is that? Well, we got some reasons and some theories here. But here's the deal. 10 out of every 1,000 people got a divorce last year. In Alaska, 10 people out of every 1,000 got a divorce. That's the highest divorce rate in the country. And it's believed that it's the long, harsh winters, the limited amount of daylight.
I mean, when you have to spend all day cooped up with somebody, you kind of wear off the new pretty quick.
And it's apparently there's a lot of seasonal depression in Alaska, and it puts a strain on the relationship. It's already a kind of a sparsely populated state. Did I see also that men outnumber women dramatically in Alaska?
I thought the number was like 7-1 or something. So
look that up. Let's not guess.
So a woman is like,
let's do the Google on that.
A woman's like, well, there's 10 more guys down the street. I'm gonna trade you in and look for one of these other gentlemen.
So Alaska, highest divorce rate. Guess who's second?
Should we go another cold weather place like North Dakota?
Wyoming. Wyoming is second place.
Really?
Nevada, number 3. Delaware, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Kentucky. Those round out the top 10. Florida's nowhere to be seen in this.
So there's only 10% more or 9% more men than women in Alaska. But 109 men to every 100 women.
All right. Well, still. I think most states are probably, aren't there supposed to be more women in the world than men? Look that up quickly.
I believe there are.
Yeah.
See, when you first threw that question out, I was picturing Florida being a higher place where people get divorced because it is so nice here. The weather's nice. We have so many choices. It's like, okay, I choose a new spouse. I'm getting divorced. But the theory is opposite.
Yeah. Globally, there are slightly more men than women, huh? I thought it was the other way around.
Me too.
This is according to the internet here. 102 men for every 100 women globally.
102 men for every 100 women. And then, of course, China. Remember those? Remember that they used to.
Yeah, they used to have a policy.
They used to. Well, Well, there was a one kid
child
policy, and that would cause families that wanted boys to get rid of the girls, which that's terrible.
Yeah, and then I just pulled up something for 2023 stats in the United States, and it looks like more men than women as well.
Anyway, some divorce quizzing here on the MJ Morning Show as far as Florida is not in the top 10.
Do you get to feel, I don't know if this is happening with your social circle, but you're hearing about divorce less. Is that am I just imagining that?
I think it's all in your head.
Okay, never mind.
I think it's been constant or maybe a little bit of an uptick, actually. I think Michelle and I probably heard about more divorces recently, last year or so. All right, then we have this Jamie Foxx deal. This is just weird. I meant to get to this last week, and I was a little aggravated with myself that I was cleaning up right after the show on Friday, and I get to this in my pile. I'm like, oh, man, I wanted to get to the Jamie Foxx story. This is weird. Jamie Foxx addresses whether Sean Diddy Combs was responsible for his hospitalization last year.
Yeah, because of all the rumors where Diddy had something to do with people getting pneumonia.
All right, well, listen, 3 eyewitnesses who went to recent tapings of Fox's Netflix special entitled What Happened Was said he talked about the allegations that Combs caused his hospitalization. But then we had different audience members that apparently had different takes or different recollections on what Jamie Foxx said. How tough is it just to remember exactly what he said? Why are there different accounts? It's like if people witness an air crash, you interview 10 different people, you get 10 different stories. People will swear it's the left wing on fire when the left wing, nothing was on fire. Yeah, you get some crazy. You talk to an NTSB investigator, and I have.
I bet you have.
You talk to a Go Team crash investigator, and seriously, you talk to 10 different people, you get 10 different eyewitness stories. And I got to figure all that out. Now, seriously, Jamie Foxx was taping these Netflix specials, and they took place October 4th, 5th, and 6th in Atlanta at the Alliance Theater. And he's got this special coming out on Netflix called What Happened Was. So one of the individuals said that Jamie Foxx, during the tapings, said that Diddy was, this is a quote, Diddy was responsible for what happened to him. And Foxx is the one who called the FBI on Combs. However, it's unclear whether the alleged comments will be included in the final cut of the Netflix special. What happened was...
All right.
Isn't that weird? What does that mean? Asked whether the alleged comments were presented as a joke, the individual said, quote, I don't think he was joking. Y'all can determine was he joking or not when you see the show. Because to me, I know when someone's setting up a punchline. I know when you're serious. And I guess...
There's the mechanics.
Well, the guy's name is Choke.
Mm-hmm.
Choke, no joke.
Yeah, so one of the individuals making this comment is a comedian himself who happened to be in the audience, and his name is Choke, no joke.
It's a terrible name for a comic. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm thinking about someone in a restaurant and they got a piece of beef Wellington jammed in their throat, and they're not making a sound, and you got to do the Heimlich or something. Or punch him in the... Isn't punching people in the back like supposed to be better than the Heimlich now?
I don't know. I'll ask Choke, no joke.
So who the hell is... Oh, it's Arthur Choke, no joke Alston.
Listen,
is the dude's name.
Yeah, he's a hip-hop comic. Seems moderately like he has a moderately successful career.
That's just bizarre.
Good for him.
Okay, but there's more to it.
What is it?
Did you hear about what the celebrity security guard, Big Homie, said on a YouTube channel?
So Big Homie talked to Choke, no joke?
No, Big Homie talked on Cam Capone's YouTube channel.
Okay.
Oh, so Cam Capone talked to Big Homie, but not Cam Capone didn't talk to Choke No Joke?
Yes.
Yeah, so
exactly.
That is in my story. So the security guard, Big Homie, had an on-camera interview with this Cam Capone News. Where do you get your news? Oh, Cam Capone News Network. That's where I get all my news.
Oh, yeah, Choke No Joke told me about it.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I know Combs poisoned Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx reported him to the FBI because of it. Listen, so this guy's claiming that that Sean Diddy Combs poisoned Jamie Foxx? That's bizarre.
Well, if you read the Kim Porter book that I told you guys about that is now unavailable on Amazon, and I looked the Kim Porter book on eBay, Kim's Lost Words, $5,000 on eBay. So look at this, Fester.
Do they not sell it at Barnes & Noble?
Well, no, I guess the book was pulled by the publisher.
Pulled. So this one's listed. I mean, no one's going to pay that, but $5,000 on eBay. In any case, in that book, she alludes to, or whoever published this alludes to, Diddy having to do with people's pneumonia or hospitalizations and alluding to poison.
There was also a Michael Jackson book some years ago. Fester, you might remember me talking about this. There was I forgot the title. I have the book.
Was the title called He?
No. There was a Michael Jackson book with all kinds of allegations, and the book was out well before the Michael Jackson trial. And that was another book. That was like removed, tough book to find. It's worth a lot of money, and I've got a copy. Fester, go do a Google search. Just type in, what is the banned Michael Jackson book? And it was like removed from bookstores, and it became, let's see, there isn't much info. What is this? Untouchable Strange Life. Michael, I don't see it here. So sir, I have the book. It's packed away in one of my book boxes. But there was this, remember Waldo, our Hollywood guy years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, Waldo sent me a copy of the book, and he's like, dude, you got to read this. And this was years and years before the trial, and then a lot of things that were in the book came out in the trial. Interesting. Hey, speaking of celebrities, this is also kind of weird, and I got a question for you.
Are we done with the Jamie Foxx thing? Because I got one more thing I want to throw out there.
Is it good?
Yeah,
is it must hear? Or am I going to say?
Everything I say is high quality.
Meh?
It's in the ear of the listener.
Meh is in the ear of the beholder.
Yes, exactly. Well, just a little sidebar, just to tie some of this together. Choke was also, I know he's a comedian, but he was also part of Rockefeller Security. So he worked for Jay-Z. That's just a little interesting thing to keep in mind.
Whoa.
Another thing is when we're talking about this Jamie Foxx thing, we need to have an understanding. It'll give us a better understanding if we know the relationship between Jamie Foxx and Diddy. Were they friends? Did they hang out together? Did they party together? Were they friends at one point? I mean, I see a lot of photos of them online, but I think that's going to help us understand his context better. If we know if they were friends or enemies in the biz.
All right. I guess we'll have to wait to see whether the information develops on the relationship between Sean Diddy Combs and Jamie Foxx. All right. And then what's actually going to be included in the Netflix special? That's what I really want to know. Is the Jamie Foxx statement seemingly blaming Diddy for his hospitalization? Is that going to be left in the Netflix special? Is that coming out? To me, that's the big question here. One other celebrity, maybe two other, but this to me is I think this is a topic of discussion. Would you or would you not? Would you buy a house that was owned by? Let me give you an audio blip of a clue, Roxanne. Let's see how good you are at this.
Is it that?
Yeah, not bad. That was pretty good. Yeah, I just gave you the little. Actually, even a little less than that. I think I just gave you a.
Yep.
And of course, yeah, you picked it up. I'm talking about
Friends.
Of course, theme from Friends.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
All right, so the question is, would you or wouldn't you?
Are you talking about Matthew Perry's house?
Yes.
Absolutely. I'd swim in that pool every day.
It just sold. A year after Matthew Perry was found dead in the pool of his ketamine overdose, house sold. I mean, do you redo the pool? I mean,
hell no. You have all your friends over.
It is a very lovely infinity pool overlooking Hollywood. Yeah, Matthew Perry's Los Angeles mansion has sold.
What's that website where you can like Airbnb your pool?
Do you know? Oh my God! Today's the exact. Oh, listen to this. This is the exact 1-year anniversary. Matthew Perry was found dead in his pool October 28th, 2023. That is exactly 1 year ago today.
Gosh, it doesn't seem, it seems like it was sooner than that, doesn't it?
Seems like it was on Friday.
It does seem like it was on Friday.
It just happened.
Could have fooled me.
Just Friday. Yeah, so
That seems about a year ago.
Matthew Perry's house was purchased by a movie producer and Arizona-based real estate developer, Anita Vermalalian. $8.55 million. Wow. Yeah, a rep for the buyer told the LA Times that she'll use the 4-bedroom, 3,500 square foot mid-century modern, which Matthew Perry bought for $6 million back in 2020 as a vacation home. It's a hell of a vacation home for $8.55 million.
Dude, she could probably Airbnb this thing to some crazy Friends fans.
Wow.
Sounds great.
Of course, Matthew Perry died a year ago today at the age of 54. The official cause of death in the medical examiner's report, acute effects of ketamine. Let me tell you right now, there's nothing cute about the effects of ketamine. Special K. Nope.
Can't overdose on it.
Yep.
So much has happened in the last year. I mean, we had like the ketamine queen of West Hollywood or East Hollywood?
Well, that's
North
where
Hollywood?
Apparently the supply came from.
Yeah,
and then you have the 2 doctors.
I think one of them's already pleaded.
I think both of the doctors have
Yeah.
already pleaded.
A lot's happened in the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 5 people, including 2 doctors, were charged in Matthew Perry's death. And I think one of the most interesting parts of the story is that Matthew Perry's stepfather was Keith Morrison from Dateline, the guy that tells stories like this. But it wasn't a typical Friday night.
Okay.
So
why was that?
Does Dateline...
What, am I annoying you, Roxanne? Talking like the Dateline reporter Keith Morrison, stepfather of Matthew Perry.
I don't think I could sit through a dinner with Keith Morrison. No. I think I'd have to excuse myself.
Why not?
Why? You know, I'll have the lobster bisque, and I'll follow that with a filet medium rare.
MJ, seriously, does Dateline do the Matthew Perry story as one of their 1-hour features?
I don't know.
And if they do it, do they give this guy the voiceover gig?
Keith Morrison?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
well, Keith Morrison.
Hey, we're doing a story about your stepson.
Stepson was Matthew Perry because Keith Morrison married the mother of Matthew Perry.
Because the other Dateline street reporter voiceover guy is kind of like that chubby guy.
Just out of curiosity, are there any listeners that are stuck in traffic on I-4 right now, westbound, that want to kick me in the face for my Keith Morrison?
I could think of so many other reasons to kick you in the face. I mean, Keith Morrison's just scratching the surface.
Things are bad enough. You're stuck in there's like apparently some horrific traffic jam on I-4 this morning, and I'm doing the most annoying delivery possible.
You know how to keep those listeners engaged.
Anyway, 1 year ago, Matthew Perry, and now his house is sold. I mean, if you buy the house, I mean, you know he was in the little hot tub off to the side of the pool,
yeah,
and you know that he croaked in there. I mean, can you imagine? You're on so she's buying this as a vacation home. Do you immediately, like, first thing you do is you like go into the hot tub and you're like, man, Matthew Perry from Friends, man, he bought the farm right here. I mean, that's kind of morbid and twisted.
No one told you life was gonna be this way.
Oh man.
Sounds like she got it for a steal. He bought it for $6 million, kind of before property values kind of jumped up, and sold it for $8 million.
Yeah, but then things kind of came down a little bit. I don't know. I think it's so it's a net profit of what, $2.5 million.
Maybe he overpaid for it.
Not bad. It's not bad. Hey, Julian was supposed to go to the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest in New York yesterday.
Was he?
Yeah, but because some people say that my son looks a little like Timothy Chalamet. Chalamet.
Let me see a photo.
Andrew's saying just the hair. Julian, likes the Dune movies. Yeah, Timothy Chalamet was in the.
Yeah.
I mean, if Timothy Chalamet needed an ugly stunt double.
Apparently chaos kind of erupted.
Julian's cute.
Well, this was in Washington Square Park, the famous arch, the big monument in Washington Square in Manhattan, and Julian's freshman dorm was right on the west side of Washington Square. Julian's front door from his dorm was like 200 feet, 300 feet away from the Washington Square arch. Anyway, so they held a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest in Manhattan yesterday, and NYPD had to bust up the event because it descended into chaos. But here's the thing.
Chaos at the
Listen
Timothy
to
Chalamet lookalike contest?
It was a lookalike. No one expected this. Timothy Chalamet showed up at the lookalike contest.
Oh, that's hysterical.
He was wearing a mask to disguise himself, and then he rips off the mask to reveal that the real Timothy Chalamet was at the event.
That's cool.
But cops had to shut it down because there were hundreds of people, and NYPD and the Parks Department said that it was an unlawful gathering because they did not have a Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest permit. So they shut the thing down. Julian was going to go, but we were all delayed. So Julian and his new girlfriend. Ooh, Julian's got a girlfriend.
What's her name?
Estelle?
Skylar. Yeah. We met her for the first time. She was delightful.
Skylar isn't her name.
Hello. I'm Keith Morrison. She was delightful.
All right, so is Skylar her real name, or is Skylar, or is like a Chet?
No.
Like Chet.
Skylar's her real name.
Okay.
How come Chet gets security?
Oh, she was very, very delightful. Anyway, so Julian met us down in Philly because all he has to do is get on the Amtrak. It's like an hour and 22 minutes from Penn Station down to the 30th Street, the Market Street station, and the 30th Street station Amtrak. Down in Philly. So he met us. We had a delightful weekend in Philadelphia. It was lovely. But the point is that our flight getting back last night was 2 hours late, and then Julian's Amtrak was also delayed for some reason. Oh, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
Oh, this is hysterical. So I've talked about this in the past because Julian was going to go to the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest to see, if he, maybe get anywhere by entering.
There's a couple of some of these contestants I'm looking at online are pretty close.
Yeah, listen to this. Julian was on this Amtrak once it finally got going. So I've discussed this in the past. The whole family, we're all voluntarily tracked. Maybe the kids not so much when they were younger because we just wanted to know where the kids were. But we're all on Life 360, kind of the family little tracking app. So we all know where everyone is, and we can track the kids, see what's going on. So listen to this. Julian on the Amtrak, and I'm sitting at the airport in Philadelphia last night. We're all delayed. And I'm like, let's see where Julian is. And a couple of times I checked his Amtrak that was rolling, and his Amtrak, and he was not on the Acela. He wasn't even on the fast train, which, I don't know. I've seen the Acela even move slower than the regular Amtrak. Do you know how fast? Fester.
Yes.
How fast do you this is, it might have been faster, but this is the speed. This is the fastest speed that I saw Julian rolling at on Amtrak from Philly to New York last night. Yesterday afternoon. What do you think the top speed? This is not the Acela, regular Amtrak service from Philadelphia 30th Street to Penn Station, New York.
What? 70 miles an hour?
No.
I mean, those trains get hoofing.
70 miles an hour is not hoofing it.
90 miles an hour?
No. Roxanne, feel free to jump on in.
80 miles an hour.
No.
Going the wrong direction. 102 miles an hour?
No.
105 miles an hour.
No.
Are we close?
Well, it is triple digits, I'll tell you that.
Okay, 999 miles.
All right,
an hour.
that's obnoxious. You just busted it.
Thank you, Mister.
Just ruined the game with a ridiculous guess. No, Julian's regular Amtrak hit 122 miles an hour last night.
Wow.
The reason why I bring this up is I've never seen this before. The icon next to Julian's icon, and you can see his his icon is moving down the tracks on the map. It had a little graphic of like a race car with flames coming out of the back. I'm like, so
does it realize that it's the train? Or
it
it
realized that he's going really fast. So it recognized that Julian is going 122 miles an hour, whether it be in a car, a train, whatever, and it's just indicating, hey, you might want to look at your son over here with this little icon of a race car with rockets and flames shooting out of the back.
Flying through the Earth's atmosphere.
Which indicates that he's going way too fast.
I mean, all this app knows is that he's like in orbit now.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
so fast.
Well, if he were in a car, 122 miles an hour would be way too fast. I just thought that was funny. Now, let me see if he texted me. I don't know if he's listening this early in the morning. But he was going to go to the
Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest.
Oh, wait a sec. He is. And Julian said, wait a minute. It turns out a friend of his hosted the event. Wait a minute.
My gosh.
Get out of here. Hold on a minute.
He could have won that.
All right, let me call Julian. Hang on a minute.
At best, he might have gotten an honorable mention.
Because some have said, I mean, I don't see this. It's never really crossed my mind. But some have said, hey, Julian looks like Timothy Chalamet.
Is that just...
Yeah, but Zabadoo, leave a message. We'll get back to you.
Well, Julian, I'm trying to... Hey, is he trying to call us? Oh, the lines are ringing in here. Sometimes he tries to call into us. I'm trying to call him now. Maybe he hopped in the shower or something.
There we go. Hello?
Oh, yeah. What are you doing?
All right. No, I don't know what was just wrong with my phone.
Hold on. Did you just say that a friend of yours hosted the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest in New York yesterday?
It turns out I know the kid who hosted it.
And,
he lives about 2 floors below me in my dorm.
And wait a minute. Did he have any idea that Timothy Chalamet was going to show up yesterday?
No way. There's no way. But it was definitely a chance, obviously, because Timothy is filming in the city currently his Hold
on, you're breaking up. Say it again.
I think Timothy is filming in New York City currently for a pickleball movie or whatever.
What? A pickleball movie?
It's the hottest sport around.
Oh my God! I know pickleball's hot, but do we need a pickleball movie? What is it going to be like? What is it going to be like? Dodgeball with pickleball?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's going to be the dodgeball movie just with pickleball now.
So, Julian, is the thing now to just put like pieces of paper advertising a fake event or an unorganized event in Washington Square and people show up?
I missed what Fester just said. I mean, is his mic off?
Hold on.
Is it feeding down the line?
Yeah, someone's got
going down the line.
Here, now it's fixed.
So, Julian.
Hey, Andrew, who touches all the buttons on our board?
Good question.
Dude, Gino lays on the board.
Go ahead.
Gino uses the board like as a cot.
Go ahead and say it.
Is the thing now, Julian, just to put like things around town or pieces of paper around town advertising some off-the-wall event?
Yeah, you have the guy that was like, watch me eat a whole bucket of cheese balls. Yeah.
I mean,
cheese balls.
Yeah, if we run off...
He's a YouTuber called Anthro, ANTHRO, and then he hosted another event recently, the one that I went to, which was the Pickles. So he has this like Justice League of like superheroes that are all like food whatever like related, and they're all just random people that he had come and like contest for like positions, and so the top placing one was Pickle Man.
So if your Amtrak was, I got to go, Julian, because I got a lot of stuff to do, but if your Amtrak was on time from Philly to New York, you would have been able to go?
Definitely gone to go see that.
Oh,
well,
man.
Maybe, but I definitely would have gone.
Hey, he might have won. Who knows?
He would not have won.
$50.
You don't look that.
Hold on. The top prize was $50.
Yeah, I'm looking at the side.
$50.
Yeah, $50 cash.
My friend Samir had like one of those big, huge checks that they come out with. It was just like $50. It probably cost more to get the check made.
the $50 prize. All right, Julian. You have a nice time with us this weekend?
Yes, I did.
Your girlfriend's very lovely.
Thank you very much. I'll let her know.
Hey, you still wearing that Virginity Rocks T-shirt?
All right, we shut up, Chester. Get out.
You retired that thing, boy?
Bye, Julian.
All right.
Good job, Jay.
Bye.
Hey, don't say that to my kid. Will you stop it?
Remember, I see Julian after all these years. He has like this Virginity Rock sweater.
Yeah,
I
you
lean
know
over.
what?
I say to him, "No, it doesn't."
And it wasn't as awkward as you guys' exchange at the end there, MJ. You're like, did you have fun hanging out with us this weekend, son?
Did you, son? All right.
All right, so my teased item, I'm running a little late on that, but let me get to that. Are you aware that there are some women that are warning about dating guys that are super hot? That should be a red flag, and that a guy that's considered super hot by a woman, that they're just nothing but trouble.
My wife has been saying that forever.
You guys are safe.
She's like, ugh.
Steer clear of those super hotties.
Roxanne, with just that little bit of information, do you have any
Well, I mean,
thoughts?
I feel like I've always had this thought. First of all, you get to know somebody. I always say this. You get to know and fall in love with their spirit. And once you know someone, you don't know what they look like anymore. You either see them as more beautiful than they are on paper or less beautiful, right? But as far as super hot guys, I think I might have a slight bias, especially if they're like really workout, heavy workout guys where you say, oh, wow, they really, really care about how they look. And then how am I going to stack up? If they're so into how they look, maybe they're going to be very judgy toward me.
Well, MJ, you date somebody ridiculously hot, and this goes for male or female. If you're dating above your pay grade, they're always getting attention.
Yeah.
I mean, they're always getting
let me share this. So the headline that I saw, this is a Post piece, why women should steer clear of men who think they're super hot.
Oh.
And this is due to a study. New study of young men revealed that those who see themselves as either the most handsome or the most misogynistic.
All right, hold on.
So,
I missed a word in there.
What?
When you said, the second time I heard you say, think they're the hottest men.
Right.
I mean, if you date a guy who's legitimately in great shape and looks really good and he gets
Yeah.
all this attention, but if you mentally walk around thinking you're the hottest thing coming down the pike, yeah, you have a mental disorder. I mean, we've all known guys who think that they don't stink in any capacity.
Hey, same thing for women.
Right.
There are some women that they think they're the greatest gift on planet Earth.
I mean, it's one thing to be God's gift, but if you think you are, that's a different ballgame.
And how do you determine that quality? Like, do they introduce themselves and say, hello, I'm Chet. I'm one of the hottest men going. Like, how do you, is it just how they carry themselves?
The super hot guys or the guys that think they're super hot. But listen, again, that's a muddled line. Listen, that they're the most misogynistic. You know what? I can actually see this. The guy, but also you can't discount on the reciprocal end, the female end of this. But just for the sake of the story, because it was about the men. So the men that think they're super hot, they just carry an attitude, and with that comes a poor treatment of women and misogyny, that they're the most misogynistic.
I mean, I could see that theory playing out, but I could also see guys who aren't hot being misogynistic.
But they think they are.
Oh, listen, I'm sure there are. Listen, there's all different styles, takes, types, but this apparently has, according to research, according to this study, that the guys that think they're really, really hot and they're God's gift, they also have an elevated degree of misogyny.
This headline really paints us guys who think we're much better looking than we really are in the negative light.
Oh, see, I'm clearly a 9.5.
Yeah, I mean, you in your head you are. I mean,
no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
I am a very ugly man as well. Both of us share that trait, but
you're uglier than me.
Boy, that's an internet poll if I've ever seen one. But listen, I don't think that every guy who thinks he's that great looking is a misogynistic creep, but apparently it's a higher percentage.
All right, before I move on to something else, quickly, Colonoscopy, it was a breeze, right?
It was great. Yeah, it was easy piece of cake.
So pretty breezy after they took it out, right?
Boy.
Clearly,
that was the best part.
Fester survived his colonoscopy. He was not here on Friday's show. Fester went under with his colonoscopy Friday morning, and Fester has survived. It did not turn into a Joan Rivers outpatient type surgery situation.
I have to say a couple things. One, the staff was fantastic at the medical facility I went to.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that propofol stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Jackson was on to something. I mean, that stuff was great.
Yeah, he was on to a little bit too big of a dose.
A little too much.
Yeah, a little too much.
I mean, he was barking down the right road.
Stop promoting propofol for a nap.
I'm just
Will
saying.
You stop it.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then second of all, or third, I don't even know what number I'm up to. I lost a little weight because they did remove 1 3-millimeter thing, a growth. Ass growth.
Polyp.
Polyp.
That's what they're called, polyp. They're not called ass growth.
They did remove a polyp?
Because if they don't...
Well, they got to test the polyp.
It's going away for testing now.
You know what that's called?
Biopsy.
That's called a biopsy. That would be correct.
So it's
50 points.
It's going to the biopsy facility, I guess, today. I don't know. And I find out in a couple of weeks what they figured out.
Biopsy King does the most in town.
So here's a good indication. How often do you have to go back for one now?
So they said if they told me beforehand, if they find nothing, I come back in a decade. And if they find something, I go back in 5 years. So I have to go back in 5 years.
Oh, so they found something. They found
one.
So you're going to be due for another camera ass probing. Looks like October of 2029.
Ooh, right before the next election. I can't wait. I can't wait. No, a year after.
No, it's not. It's
a
a year after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
The next election's November 28th.
4 years. Listen, but I have to go back.
Can you believe we're 1 week away from the election? Tomorrow is 1 week away from election. I don't listen. Oh boy, I don't know.
Let's just not talk politics.
We don't do politics on this show. We just don't. Just it's a no-win situation.
Not to talk about politics, but am I the only one that's kind of really excited to see how this whole thing goes down?
All right, we stop it.
It's going to be interesting.
I mean, get the popcorn, people.
Just stop it.
Doesn't matter which side you're on.
All right. Have you heard about normies when it comes to celebrities? Do you know what this is?
So,
do you have any idea?
I've heard about this in the past.
Celebrity and normie. What does it mean, Fester?
I saw this maybe 6 months ago when I saw Keanu Reeves and his wife with who looks much older and is not like a beauty queen, and she's just a normal person. And Keanu Reeves is, probably one of the bigger stars out there, right? And
yeah, for sure.
He's married to somebody who's, maybe not in the industry or not famous or not known for anything. And she would qualify as a normie.
Well, yes. So a normie is when a celebrity marries just a normal person, nobody of any great notoriety. Listen, they could be a brilliant, fun, terrific human being, and that's really all we should really measure people by, and not by, ooh, celebrity. But if you notice, a lot of celebrities tend to marry celebrities, and a lot of those don't end up very well. If you notice, the divorce rate of celebrities marrying celebrities is extremely high, and a lot of those relationships don't seem to work out. A normie is when a celebrity marries just a normal, regular person, and the last, I guess, big celebrity normie is Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, she married like a truck driver.
Yeah, no, like an alligator rustler.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Seriously. He's an alligator swamp tour guide in Louisiana.
That sounds...
I wonder if Cajun Fester knows him.
Yeah, I was invited to the wedding there. I almost officiated the Lana Del Rey wedding, but I was busy.
Yeah. So Lana Del Rey, pop star Lana Del Rey, I mean, big star, married her longtime boyfriend, Jeremy Dunfree, and he's described as an alligator swamp tour guide in
Now, he lives swamp tour guide down there closer to Baton Rouge?
No.
Closer to Lafayette?
No, this was Thibodeau.
Ooh, Ooh, Thibodeau, Louisiana.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Thibodeau. So Lana Del Rey is 39 and Dunfree is 49, and they filed for a marriage license with the Lafourche Parish Clerk. You know what the Lafourche, is that how you say it? Lafourche? Lafourche Parish, you know what that is?
Listen, you don't know Cajun that well, but we'll go with that. But yeah, it's a beautiful parish if you like swamp and gators and mosquitoes.
And that's actually in Thibodaux. Thibodaux, Louisiana. Woo-wee!
So, wasn't there a story about Lana Del Rey working at Waffle House? Like, Lana Del, there was September 20th, 2023. So, a little over a year ago, there were photographs of her with the yellow name tag on working at a Waffle House.
What is like an appearance or something?
No, like that was like a part-time job she took to fill time to do something.
What?
It was in Alabama.
When was it? How long ago?
A year ago.
That doesn't make sense.
And can I also say, I have no idea of any song Lana Del Rey has ever sang.
I like her.
I mean, you guys probably. I don't know any song. I'll probably recognize one if you have it.
Nothing?
I mean, I'll recognize. Maybe you said for $1 million, name one Lana Del Rey song. My answer would be, duh.
Summertime.
It's awful.
No, it's not.
It's good. I like Lana Del Rey. You kind of want
What are you
to
talking about? It's
kill
not
yourself after you listen to
Does
some
she
of the
have a-
songs, but
Does she have a better hit than that?
Yeah.
she's got a great voice.
She also did this one.
All right, I like that one.
That was a big Lana Del Rey song.
She did some collabs with Taylor Swift.
None of
too.
you guys can mention a good song of hers.
I put other celebrities aside from Lana Del Rey, who I guess the story just came out, but they actually got married, I guess, last month. But I just saw the story for the first time. But again, it's the celebrities marrying the so-called normies. And do you know some of the other names of celebrities marrying normies?
I can name one off the top of my head. Matt Damon. He married a bartender she was bartending in Miami, saw her across the room, and they got married.
That is a blatant lie. Where'd you make up that crap from?
I just pulled it out of Fester's butt.
No, you're correct. That is true. So Matt Damon met his wife, Luciana Barroso, back in 2003. He was filming some comedy in Miami, and he gave an interview.
Stuck on You.
That's the name of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that was a big Matt Damon movie.
I don't think
Yeah,
it
I
was.
don't think-
No, it was
hit.
was that the one with Greg Kinnear or something?
But he did an interview and said that he and his crew went, while they're filming in Miami, this is back in 2018, he gave this interview, and this happened, met his wife in 2003, so years earlier, and I guess they were taking a break, and he and his crew went to a bar in South Beach, Miami, and she was bartending. And Damon's version is that he saw her from across the room, wanted to talk to her, and he had, I guess, Barroso said that he had hidden for cover behind the bar because he was getting recognized by other patrons. She put him to work, and he started making drinks. Turned into a fun night, and then I guess they hit it off after this meeting at the bar while she was a bartender. They went out, they had a great time, and, well, they had a private ceremony, a little small wedding in 2005. So 2 years after they met, they got married, and they're still married. So Matt Damon...
That worked out well.
Married,
working out well.
Married a normie, married a bartender.
So,
I don't know if I've ever seen her, or I might have, but
you wouldn't know.
Is there a picture?
I'm sure.
Yeah, she's pretty. She's attractive.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a million of them.
Well, I'm sure she's not a troll under the bridge.
I mean,
Well, yeah, I
maybe
mean,
she is.
she's got, she's Brazilian. She's got dark hair.
Yeah, she's a pretty woman.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, what about George Clooney and his wife, Amal?
Well, she's a politician, right? Or not?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, she's not
Activist,
she's not out of Hollywood, but she's like a lawyer activist, right?
Yeah, activist.
All right, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so who else is on the celebrity marrying normie list? this is old. Dolly Parton, who I adore. I think Dolly Parton's the best.
Yeah,
You've never heard of her husband.
Yeah, Carl Dean.
He doesn't go to anything. He just lets her do her thing.
Guess what, Carl Dean? Dolly Parton's husband, and they met and married years ago. Let me put it this way. Dolly Parton married her husband the year I was born, in 1966. Guess what Dolly Parton's husband did for a living?
Sausages. He's a brother of
Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy. But he hasn't been
It's
successful.
probably not far off. I mean, they're from Tennessee.
This is great. Dolly Parton's husband, Carl Dean, is a retired asphalt contractor. That's great.
Perfect.
The guy was paving roads.
Listen, when you live down in the holler, the guy that can give you a paved road is king.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, he's 82 years old now.
Yeah, how old is Dolly? Dolly's 76, 77,
She looks
right?
great.
How old's Dolly? She's got to be 76 or 77.
Dolly age.
Yeah, Dolly is 78. 78 years old.
You've never heard of her husband. You've never seen him on appearances. He doesn't go to the red carpet things. I mean, he's, geriatric now.
Carl Dean, I'll tell you what, if I ever run into him, I'm going to have a hell of a conversation about road paving and speed tables and speed bumps.
You know what? He'd probably be happy to talk about that as opposed to Dolly every time.
And her giant bumps.
Whoa, hey,
bumps. Her speed bumps. Taylor Lautner.
He was from the Wolf movies.
Yeah, Taylor Lautner met.
Did he marry a person named Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
Taylor Lautner, the actor, met a woman also named Taylor Dome.
Yeah.
Who was a registered nurse, and it was during some game night that was arranged by his sister. And they married back in 2022, and now they're Taylor squared. They're Taylor and Taylor.
Dude, I knew a Courtney like that. The guy's name was Courtney and the wife's name was Courtney.
They ought to bring in Taylor Swift as a threesome.
Whoa, hey.
That's what they ought to do. Anyway, so a couple examples of the so-called normies. Hey, Fester, speaking of relationships and weird stuff.
Yes.
You sent me this kind of long, convoluted email last night about you ditched the family and you wanted some alone time on Saturday night?
No. I found myself with a little time on my hands. I had to run out of the house a little later in the day on Saturday. And I was out till like 9 o'clock, 9:15. Right?
That's called ditching the family.
No, I was out. I had a specific reason for leaving. Anyway, I'm done. I call my wife, and I was like, "Hey, I think I'm heading home. I'll see you in a couple minutes." And she's like, "I'm asleep." It was like 9:30. She's in bed.
Oh, you're not gonna do some voice like, "Why don't you just stay out until the dawn?"
She gets very upset when I do her impression.
Oh, she does.
But I ring the house. Allison picks up the phone. She's like, "Hello," and I'm like, "Hey, honey, I'm
First
done."
of all, she sounds like a sweet angel when we call her up. She doesn't sound like that.
She sounds like a sweet angel, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, Michelle sounds like a sweet angel when I call her. Point made.
Right.
Anyway,
what are you getting at?
I'm just saying, everybody's wife sounds like a sweet angel when you call them, but in reality, that's not here nor there. That's not the story. Right. So I call her up and say, "Hey, I'm on the way home," and she's like,
"What time is this Saturday?"
Like 9:30. So
9:30 at night?
Yeah.
So what time did you leave the house?
I left the house like at 6. I had to see a guy about a thing.
What the hell does that mean?
Some collections involved, but anyway, we were done. My business was done. I made it home. I was going to make it home, and I'm like, "Where are the kids?" She goes, "Kids are asleep too. Everybody's asleep. The house is dark."
So why don't you just stay out?
And I'm like, "You know what? All right."
Why don't you go to Mons or
hang up.
The spaceship?
The spaceship one, the doll. I could have gone anywhere. And I'm like,
the Pink Pussycat? Didn't the car run through there last week?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one?
Or Showgirls out in Plant City?
Listen, you can do whatever you want with your time.
No,
However,
I can't.
I mean, yes, you can. If you have a night out, you go to all those places. I have no interest in going to any of those kind of places.
I don't go to those places.
Me neither.
I haven't been to a strip club.
Okay.
Since
this has nothing to do with strip clubs.
My bachelor party.
Why are you exercising this avenue of thought?
Go ahead.
I go to one of my favorite kind of establishments. I go to a cigar bar. And when I go out, and I rarely get to go out by myself, but when I go out, I go out by myself. I don't go out with other people. I mean, if you're listening to the morning show.
So you went to a cigar bar and then you're sitting next to a couple?
Well, I'm sitting by myself. There's 2 empty seats. Couple says, "Hey, are those seats taken?" And I'm like, "Sure, they're yours." And then I don't say anything else. I'm just watching the World Series, Game 2.
Yankees are having some trouble.
So the last 2 World Series champions were down 0-2 in the first 2
Yeah.
games. So this series is not over,
Okay.
but Los Angeles is looking good.
I tell you what, I don't want to take you off your story, but that game 1 was one of the most exciting, living up to the hype of the Dodgers and the Yankees.
Freddie Freeman's home run on 10th.
Yes,
anyway,
everything. Go ahead.
World Series is great.
Full disclosure, I've seen not 1 minute of the World Series so far.
You've missed 2 great games.
Yeah,
and I'm not a baseball nut, but I'm watching the World Series. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm puffing on my Arturo Fuente, and these 2 people are sitting next to me. And
This is a man and a woman.
Man and a woman, right. And they're just chit-chatting and kind of giggling.
How old? Demographics?
Probably in their mid to late 20s, maybe late 20s, maybe 30s. They came from the Lightning game, so they had like a Lightning gear on.
Which cigar bar was this?
It was a place called Cathedral Cigars on Florida Avenue. It's like built in an old church.
All right.
And it's
cool.
Yeah, it's a cool place. So I'm there by myself. Old lady has no idea I went, right? She's
so
asleep.
this young couple, late 20s or 30s, sits next to you at the bar?
I'm sitting at like a lounge chair, or like a leather chair.
All right.
I don't sit at
what
bars.
happens?
So I have no interest in talking to these people. He has every intention on talking to me. So he goes, hey, pal, what's your name?
Oh, he says it like that?
Yeah, well, he's a guy like
so he didn't know that you were the famous Fester from the MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM, Q105, Tampa Bay.
So outside of these 4 hours we're on the air, I don't exactly claim ownership of the show.
Gotcha.
I don't talk about it. But I was like, hey, tell him my first name, and he's like, oh, I'm Nick or whatever his name was, and he introduces me to his lady friend. And okay, so I think we're done. And he goes, so what do you do for work? I'm like, oh Jesus. Okay, now I have to have a conversation with this guy. So I tell him, I do a little bit of, I told him I'm a jack of all trades.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I said, I do a little bit of everything.
Hold on, you never said that you worked on a radio show?
Nope.
Why wouldn't you promote the radio show and get potentially 2 more listeners?
This is my time, my dime. I don't care. I'm not worried about that.
F the radio show.
Boy, I tell you what.
MJ Morning Show sucks. All right, go ahead.
Well, he talks about what he does. And then he had like 5 or 6 questions, and we're getting along.
What is this guy interrogating you?
Right, and I'm like, Jesus.
Is it Inquisition?
I'm like, Jesus Christ, just shut up.
All right,
listen,
you're a Catholic. Don't use that.
So,
don't.
Listen. And I said, hey. And then I felt like it was my turn to ask a question because they're both looking at me. So I'm like, and I don't care about any of this.
You're just throwing something generic out. You're like you're just drool talking.
I just had to ask a question. I'm like, so how'd you 2 meet?
So how'd you 2 meet? Oh, yeah, that's a nice conversation starter.
Yeah, just to, I don't even know why I asked it because I don't care.
Right.
And they kind of look at each other like, and they look at each other and they both say at the same time, at a convention.
Huh.
And I'm like, what kind of terrible answer is that?
What, a plumbing convention?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the avenue I'm going down.
What convention?
Right. I'm like, what kind of convention did you meet?
The Appliance Manufacturers of America convention.
So I look at him and I say the first thing that comes to my mind. I go, what? You can't tell me what kind of convention it was? What was it?
Hold on, they wouldn't tell you what kind of convention?
Well, they just said it was a convention. I mean, why wouldn't you say, we met at a farming convention, or Froggy went to, shelving conventions or hardware store conventions? They had no answer for what the convention
Maybe it was a genital piercing convention.
So I said,
maybe it was a swingers, maybe it was a furry convention.
Yeah. Any answer would have been acceptable because I don't
Maybe it was like a sexual deviant freak bag convention.
They could have said that.
Like a fetish thing. Yeah, fetish con.
And I would have said, and I would have left them alone because
maybe they met at porn con.
But they gave me no answer.
Okay.
They're like,
maybe they met at polyp con. All right, go ahead.
So I was like, whoa, you can't tell anybody what kind of convention it is? What? Is it secret? Is it an Alcoholics Anonymous convention?
Did they ever tell you the convention they met at?
Was it Alcoholics Anonymous?
Because it was an Alcoholics Anonymous convention.
Oh, it was.
My only guess was AA. I was like, what? You can't tell anybody? What are you guys?
It could have been NA.
Well,
it could have been what is the sexual, like nympho, like if you've got
I don't know. You can look that one up on your
like
time.
if you have a sex addiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
SA?
Yeah. What was
SDA?
What was that?
Sex and love addiction.
What was that show where the guy said, "Hey man, the best place to pick up women is at a sexual."
I think it
was
like
that something Will Ferrell
a
said?
sexual addict convention.
I think that was like in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
No, not a convention, but a sexual a sex addict support group. That's where you go to pick up women.
I mean, half of them fall off the wagon. So I guess Alcoholics Anonymous, and both of them just go, and they look at each
And
other.
it was.
And she goes, yes.
Wow.
It was an AA convention.
Does this cigar bar also serve alcohol?
They have a full bar. And
but maybe that's not the best place to be.
well, hold on.
Maybe they should go to like Chuck E. Cheese's or something.
You can't smoke cigars on Chuck E. Cheese.
They serve beer there too.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
they?
that's true too. You know, listen,
Yeah, dads can get loaded at Chuck E. Cheese's.
the point of going to AA, and I've had friends that have gone through the program, is to live your life in the world. There's going to be alcohol in the world. You can't avoid it everywhere. You just don't partake in that. And anyway, so I was not drinking anything. I had like a bottled iced tea, right? And they're like, oh, are you in the program?
Are you a friend of Bill?
Yeah.
Was it Bill
Biller.
W?
Bill W.
Is that it? Are you a friend of Bill?
Yeah.
Isn't that the thing?
Everybody's a friend of
Friends of Bill W, right? Isn't that the AA deal?
So,
yeah, Friends of Bill W is a term used in Alcoholics Anonymous to refer to a member of the organization or someone who is actively recovering from alcoholism. And Bill W is Bill Wilson, I guess, the co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous.
So listen, I fully support anybody who's in a recovery program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I kind of guessed it, and it made like this really awkward encounter. And I was like, hey, guys, if you're not just going to tell people right out of the gate you met at an AA convention, you can't just say you met at a convention. That's the dumbest answer ever.
Yeah, or just have a story that you both like and stick to.
And
If you don't want to reference the alcohol
But
part.
also, don't people that are in recovery, don't they usually talk about it? I mean, the people that I've known that were in recovery and
me
had
too.
an alcohol, they're very vocal about it.
I wasn't involved in that step. I don't know. I don't know these people.
Were they a cute couple?
They were lovely. They were lovely, nice enough folks.
All right.
Who I'll never see again.
All right.
But
The mystery convention, then you had to guess what it was.
And
Look at
I
that.
called him. I just out of the dark. What was it? An AA convention?
You're a regular psychic.
Bro.
You ought to do tarot card readings next. All right, so moving along to the Bucs, just quickly, do we call it the creamsicle curse? Is anybody calling it the creamsicle curse?
Ooh, I haven't heard that yet.
Because they lost. Didn't they lose last year in the creamsicle outfits?
Yeah, they played Detroit last year and they lost.
They lost in the creamsicles last year, and now the Bucs wore the creamsicle outfits yesterday, and they lost to the Falcons.
That's got to be it.
31-26. And then, Fester, we ought to just kind of dredge this back up in the fact that there's a bit of a controversy because some believe that the Falcons were credited with a touchdown where the ball came out of the player's hand prematurely before crossing the line.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts, the tight end for the Falcons, as he's crossing the goal line, he's getting tackled. And it's questionable if his foot was on the line, and
That
the
doesn't
ball,
matter, right?
the ball comes out, and the referees.
They did review it because it's a touchdown.
Yeah, and but it was inconclusive.
But again, you have was it Pitts?
Yeah, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts is crossing into the end zone, and it looks like the ball comes out of his hand, which you had. Who was the Buccaneer on his jock? Who was that? Because the Buccaneer had his arm underneath the armpit, the left armpit. So it appears to be that might have been some interference on the part of the Bucs player, legitimately, that knocked the ball or caused for the premature dropping of the ball. And it looks like,
Is that Winfield?
To me, it looks like the ball might have been released from Pitts' hand. I mean, a quarter inch, a fraction before he actually crossed over that end zone line, indicating a touchdown. So some are saying, did he really?
Did he let go at like a hair too soon?
Exactly. So did he break the plane with the football or did not?
And there's no down the line shot. So for every angle, you can argue both ways, and the refs couldn't make a judgment either way, and they gave him the touchdown.
Wait a minute, hold on, Andrew. Why was there not a pylon camera? Isn't there usually a pylon camera?
I don't know why there was no pylon camera.
But is there usually a pylon camera? So where the hell was the pylon camera?
Just stop piling on.
They turned it. They turned it the other way. I have no idea. But the one shot that the referees needed to 100% conclusively figure out what happened, they didn't have.
Anyway, the creamsicle uniforms suck. They're ugly.
No.
I know that they're a throwback, but it's a throwback to when the Bucs really sucked when they wore those creamsicle outfits.
I like to say back when the Bucs first got into the league after their 0-14 season, whatever it was, they did make like the NFC Championship game pretty soon. They lost to the Rams.
Was that like 79 or something?
Something like that, 79 or 80 or something. But
79.
Yeah, they had a lot of fun.
Andrew wants me to take line one. Hi, good morning, MJ Morning Show. Hello, Sarah and Largo. You're up.
Morning. So I was actually at that game yesterday. I was sitting on the same side as that touchdown that they gave credit to. They got screwed over so badly because he did get the ball knocked out of his hand before he crossed into the end zone.
So you think if they went, instead of looking at the video and they went to the Sarah cam, you say absolutely the ball dropped before he crossed the plane?
It was all of us. We watched it. We saw the replay, and he absolutely did get it knocked out of his hand. Like you can see, his foot hadn't even crossed into the end zone, and everybody was booing the refs. But it was a good game, and that last-second play with the Hail Mary was incredible.
Well, listen, that is legitimately a game changer if they didn't get the touchdown.
We all said that. We're like, they would have won that game had they called it back. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So, Sarah, 100% in your eyes, 100% conclusive that the Falcons player Pitts dropped the ball before crossing the line.
He got it knocked out of his hand before he crossed the line.
So if the referee would have stood at midfield and said, after further review and consulting with Sarah in section 224, the ruling of the field is overturned. It's a fumble.
I think there was, even though the pylon camera wasn't there, I think there were some reporters who got a good shot of that shows.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like there are a bunch of cameras. And then we have, hey, Sarah, thanks for the call. Oh, did you see the Florida Highway Patrol trooper injured?
Yeah. Ankle
I did
injury.
not see. I don't know if I do know that somebody got knocked out the very last play when they did the Hail Mary, and it was a bunch of football players that knocked into this one guy, but I couldn't tell who it was that got knocked over.
All right. Well, we have a Florida Highway Patrol officer that has a busted ankle from the game. Hey, Sarah, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Yeah, FHP officer. You said the officer's been identified?
I didn't identify him, but...
Oh, I thought you said, what's...
his ankle. I mean,
I thought you said Hinkle.
No, I said ankle.
His ankle.
Oh,
His
okay.
ankle.
Oh.
Ankle.
If his name is Henkel, that'd be crazy.
It's not.
Yeah. Officer, we've identified him as Officer Ankle.
An FHP trooper who was at the Buccaneers game yesterday was injured. Final play of the game, 31-26, Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield.
He overthrew the last...
it was like a Hail Mary attempt.
Yeah, but...
And you had the whole, like, scruff going on there, the whole gaggle, whatever you call it.
See, now he has his back to the field, but he has to because he's, like, looking up above and seeing what's happening in the stands.
Yeah, so the Florida Highway Patrol trooper is looking up in the stands just to make sure there's nothing unruly going on, and then the players just nail him, knock him down, and they broke the trooper's leg or ankle.
Ankle. They broke Trooper Hankel's ankle.
It's not Trooper Hankel. I thought Roxanne did call him Hankel.
Until he is identified, and I wish him a speedy recovery, he will be Trooper Hankel.
All right, well, the FHP thanks the Falcon player that initially rendered aid to our member following the play. The FHP put out a statement yesterday. The FHP says that the trooper did suffer a broken ankle.
When you look at it again in slow motion, it really was a violent hit that the trooper took because the helmet goes into his shoulder and he's looking toward the crowd. He's completely not expecting what's going to happen to him.
And the Falcons player is trying to help him up, but with a broken ankle, that's painful. All right, hang on. I was going to move on, but we have another call regarding the pylon cam. Mike in Lutz. Mike, hi. You're on the MJ Morning Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
What's the story?
It was taken out by a football. They threw a pass, and it nailed the pylon dead on, and it knocked it out, and they said it was going to be out for the end of the game.
Oh,
good
man.
info.
So a prior play knocked out the pylon cam that might have determined whether it was a good catch and a touchdown?
Yes, sir.
Well,
That was it.
son of a bit. Really?
That was it.
Who's laughing in the background?
That's my little guy taking him to school. He loves the MJ show.
That's fantastic. Hey, what's your name?
My name is Alex Michael Zarin.
Hey, and how old are you?
I'm 15 and I'm a teenager.
I sure are, buddy.
yes,
awesome.
yes.
All
you-
right.
Well, listen, I'm glad you like the show, and I want to thank you guys both for calling in. Okay?
Yeah. And thanks for the tip on the.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
You guys
Hey,
are great.
Thank
our
you.
our pleasure. Thank you. Have a great day at school.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, look at that.
Listen,
Aw.
Father-son tag team.
this officer, he's lucky he's not injured, or this trooper's lucky he's not injured more severely. Speedy recovery to officer or trooper
Yeah,
ankle.
for sure.
Broken ankle. He's going to be out for
So
about 8
fun.
weeks, right? 8,
Yeah.
12 weeks. How long does that take?
What is this, the NFL injury report?
Listen, it's not every.
We hope to have Mike Evans back in a couple of weeks, and state trooper ankle here. He'll be
Yeah.
back.
The trooper. I mean, you could see it's like. He got nailed, and he has no idea, and that's the worst thing. So who was it? Which Bucs slammed into the trooper? It's Jarrett.
Yeah, number 18.
Yeah, Jarrett.
Who eventually caught the ball, but it was out of bounds.
It was out of bounds. It was behind the end zone, so it's out of bounds. And then the trooper. He looks like an older trooper too.
I have to say, the trooper is standing awfully close to the field.
No, that's where you stand.
No, but he is within the yellow line, which, the yellow. If you look, all the media and all the photographers are behind the yellow line.
Behind the yellow line.
And the trooper is right at the edge of the white line to represent out of bounds. He is really close to the field. I know he has to do it for his angle to look at the crowd. But
why is he wearing a Tiffany and Company blue-colored armband? Do we know why?
I don't.
You see that? Is that a? Oh, it looks like all the troopers are wearing like these Tiffany and Company, that light blue Tiffany,
like that robin's egg blue or something.
Yeah, are you identifying the color, or
it's
is it an actual Tiffany thing?
I don't think. No, it's the color.
Okay.
He's wearing an armband that is the color of the famous like blue Tiffany and Company box. That's all I'm saying. All right, what do we have time wise? Oh, we got plenty of time. All right, I got to start running through some audio that I pulled. So a couple of things here. I mentioned the national anthem story. Did anyone see this?
No, I am unfamiliar with this event even happening.
Well, I would have to say that I agree with you.
Okay.
It's Loomis? Is that who it is?
What's that?
The person's name who did it?
Hold on. I lost my. Here it is.
So it happened was it a presidential debate or was it a forum?
No, I lost my piece of paper. Now I got it. So this is a singer who is singing the national anthem during a live telecast of the free and equal presidential debate. And this is between 3 third-party presidential nominees. Let me translate. They don't have a chance in hell. All right?
You know what? They have a chance to swing the election is what they have a chance.
So Loomis, singer's name is Loomis. What is that, like the armored car company?
Yeah, all right. So what's the Wells Fargo
So,
Loomis?
Loomis trucks driving on the way to work.
Loomis was tapped to sing the Star-Spangled Banner in front of candidates Chase Oliver, Libertarian Party, Dr. Jill Stein, Green Party. A lot of people know her name. And Randall Terry, the Constitution Party. This was in Los Angeles last week. And her voice cracks as she was doing a cappella. And then she claimed she was distracted and then says, I effed up. I effed it up. Can we go back, please?
Listen, if you're recording something, it's fine.
They're live on the air.
This
is a live event. No, you can't go back. And then she just drops. She's doing the national anthem and says, I effed up. I effed up.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I've got the audio here, which is, it's like, I don't know what's worse, this or Roxanne doing the national anthem, years ago. All right, so listen to this. Here's the audio of Loomis, and then she's like, I was so nervous, and Let me play this audio. Let me put it over here. All right, here we go. Listen to this.
For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare. Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
We're live.
We're live.
And then she says, I effed it up. I effed it up. Can we go back, please? So you're doing the national anthem and then you drop the F-bomb twice. I don't know who was covering this, but then you heard the guy say, we're live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
No, Loomis does not want to do it live.
No.
Bombs bursting, and I got too nervous. Gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say does that star spangled for the land.
All right.
Well, it's or, but
okay. So
you know, her voice is not bad.
Or good.
Yeah.
It's neither.
It's not terrible.
So TMZ caught Loomis after the event,
right?
And tried to. I don't know.
As she was getting into a big armored car with bags of money that she just picked up at a Vons grocery store. Hang on.
All right. God bless him. All right, there we go.
There's a little Loomis.
Oh, man.
I want to hear the beginning one more time. I want to hear the
apology.
I effed up.
It's like a Wendy Williams
Can I do it again?
apology.
No, we're live.
For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets red glare. Can I go back? Can I go back, please?
We're live.
Just keep going, Loomis.
Keep going.
Anyway, so what did you find, Fester?
TMZ apparently tracked her down after the debate of people who have no chance in winning the election.
Gotcha.
And I asked you what happened. It's a little bit of a long clip, but let's give it a shot.
You mean with Jill Stein? Stein?
She's the green.
You're going to look pretty funny in corner of the cob with no effing teeth. All right, go ahead.
So
Blues Brothers.
She
All
is
right,
the Green Party candidate?
Yeah, Stein.
Okay.
Remember John Belushi introduced himself as Stein from the National Federation of Musicians, wanted Doc's union card.
All right, here's Loomis.
Yeah, go ahead. All right, let me hear it.
Ready?
Yep.
Back it up a little bit.
All right, go.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Hey.
So you're going obviously insanely viral on the internet for your C-SPAN national anthem. What happened?
Girl, so let me start out by saying I am the daughter of a veteran. So, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't want to mess up the national anthem.
Is this how you got the gig, or how'd you get the gig?
No, because I really do sing, and I'm really a good singer, I promise you. So what had happened was, I didn't know it was live, right? And I was like,
Wait a minute, stop.
I had walked out.
Hold on, did the reporter just say, how'd you not know it was live?
No, but she did say that. I am fascinated by the way she talks. I like how she goes, everything is a rrr, rrr.
But
she rolls her R's even when it's not an R.
What
I love
happened?
it.
Look at that giant Hello Kitty metallic medallion
You
she's
said
wearing.
giant. I didn't know what direction you were going.
Yeah.
There's something else giant.
I've gone two of those. I've gone.
Oh,
from,
you're talking about her giant boobs?
I've gone from not loving her to loving her instantly. All right, here's more.
Go.
So what had happened was, I didn't know it was live, right? And I was like, oh,
How did you not know it was live?
Because listen, I had walked out, right? And I was like, oh, say, can you see? And then I gave it like the right tone, because you got to start lower so you can get up there, But then he stopped me. He was like, we're not ready yet.
Oh.
And I was like, what? So then I didn't know it was live, because I'm like, okay, we can go back, you know what I mean? And then when I got to the spot, and then I got nervous, and then I was scared. But it was crazy. And can I tell you guys something? Since I was a little girl, this was the most... I've always said I don't want to sing the national anthem. It's like the scariest thing to me ever since I was a little girl. Because, everyone's standing up all serious with no,
God.
She's great.
You know what? This might launch her into something.
Yeah. You know, MJ, I've always, and I agree, the national anthem is a very intimidating song to sing, even for a professional singer like Loomis. But I love her.
I like how she says, I didn't. She adds r to
Yeah, she's
everything.
like rolling her, like ruffles have ridges.
Yeah, but not
or
even
something.
R's. Just even words without R's.
She's a piece of
making
work.
it happen.
Hey, let me do a natural segue. An animal bit off a zookeeper's thumb at a zoo in Cincinnati. I'm kidding. There's no natural segue here.
I mean,
oh my God. A worker at the Cincinnati Zoo had their thumb bitten off by a chimp.
That was my next question. What kind of animal?
At feeding time, the unnamed zoo worker was making routine rounds in the morning in the Jungle Trails habitat on Friday, giving food to the animals and medicine to the animals when the animal bit the worker, a male, through the mesh barrier and had his thumb chewed off by the chimp. My God. They're calling it a partial thumb amputation. How much of the thumb? You know, what's funny is, primates and with the opposable thumbs, now the human's actually missing an opposable thumb.
The irony.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
My God. Humans and chimps, man, they don't always mix. I mean, sometimes it's a good relationship like Michael Jackson and Bubbles, right?
Who lives here in Lake Wales or somewhere?
Bubbles is out somewhere in Polk County, I thought. Yeah.
He lives out there.
At some primate preserve of some sort. No, but seriously, you've got who is the chimp up in Connecticut? Travis.
Travis.
Oh my God. That's like the most horrific 911 call I've ever heard. I never want to. Andrew, let's play it. Do you have Travis the chimp? Fester, you don't want to play it?
I don't think we need a chimp 911 call from 20 years ago.
All right. Oh man, that is. Folks,
but it's a horrific call.
That is rough.
This is apparently big news in Cincinnati.
This is huge news in Cincinnati. This is like top story in Cincinnati.
Tonight, we are following an incident that happened at the zoo where a bonobo hit and partially amputated one of the staff members' fingers.
Yeah, our Alexis Martin joins us live from the zoo with the very latest.
Oh, live now.
So we know the incident happened early this morning before the zoo was opened, and the caretaker was feeding the bonobos and was wearing protective gear when the bite and partial amputation happened.
Gate number 4. This is for a bonobo that bit someone's thumb off. The 4-foot bonobo monkey.
Caretakers at the Cincinnati Zoo were doing their morning rounds, feeding and giving the bonobo troop their medicine, when zoo officials say a bonobo bit a zoo worker. You just heard radio traffic from when police were called to the zoo.
All right, so it's a bonobo. It's a type of chimp.
Yeah, it's in the chimp family.
Yeah, close relative of the chimp. They're smaller and darker than the chimp. I'm looking at a picture. It looks like a freaking chimp to me, okay?
When you think of
I'm just calling it a chimp and not a bonobo. What are you laughing at?
You're
just chimp talk.
You're a bobo, MJ. Not you, Roxanne. They're good. It's a cute chimp. I'm looking at a bunch of images of it.
Yeah.
They look really friendly until
They
they bite.
do.
Until they
They look really sweet and cuddly.
Until they rip your face off like Travis the chimp up in Connecticut.
I mean, isn't like the rule of feeding the animals is don't keep your hands anywhere near them?
Yeah. And speaking of horrific stories, more has come out and they've named the Walmart worker that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
The oven guy?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. No. Yeah, that's a terrible story. It was a woman. It was a young woman. And if you missed the story, and I didn't even know this, but next time you're at Walmart, look in the bakery area, and I guess all the Walmart bakeries have this walk-in oven. I mean, this is like a Hansel and Gretel nightmare story right here.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they bake their breads on a rack, and it wheels into this oven.
There was a 19-year-old young woman who was found dead in a Walmart walk-in oven. This was up in Halifax, Nova Scotia, up in Canada. And the teen has been 19-year-old Gursimran Kaur was identified, 19-year-old that was, I mean, they're saying now this had to be murder. There was no way.
It seems weird, right, that would happen?
How does the door close? Does it lock from within?
Well,
I mean, did somebody just close it as like thinking it's a joke? And I mean, I don't know, but this is awful.
All right, Andrew, what are you saying? Andrew, turn your mic on because I have a video and there's a Walmart worker at a Walmart that is like giving a tour of the oven. So, Andrew, you're not sure if the oven in the video tour and the audio that I have is the same oven?
There may be different model ovens, and I found an article about this case, and the oven they show in that picture does not look like the one from that video of the demonstration that we have.
Yeah, I mean, there are several different Walmarts around North America, so it's possible they don't all have the same oven.
All right. So you're saying that the oven where the Walmart worker was found like baked is not the same oven that is in this video that we're getting the tour on?
I'm saying I don't know that it's the same model.
So
I'm looking at there's a story, the mirror.us has a story. And
all right, so you're not sure.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. But I'm guessing that Walmart probably, the fixtures and the appliances are probably standardized.
You would think so.
Across the board.
At least the safety part of them. Everything they use has to have the same safety mechanism.
Listen to this. So this is a Walmart employee giving a tour of the walk-in oven.
This is our oven at work, Walmart. The oven turns on from the outside. This is the handle. You have to pull it really hard to open it. This is the inside. The oven is hot right now. I don't even know if I would fit in here, honestly. I'm 5'1", medium built. I would have to crouch down to get in. There's no emergency latch in here, but I would never be in here. Whether I'm cleaning it or not, I would not be in the oven. Now for the oven to close and lock, you have to push this with all your might and pull the handle to the side and lock it in place. There is no way possible somebody could lock themselves in there. Now, somebody could throw me in there and lock me in there, but that's a whole different scenario.
All right, so that's the deal right now. It's like, is this a murder investigation? Because she's indicating, this Walmart worker, that you can't turn the oven on from the inside. You got to be outside, and then you have to close it, and then there's like this heavy like latch that you have to deliberately, I mean, really swing and pull, and it's almost like a double lock, like a double jointed kind of lock. It's really, I mean, pretty elaborate. So it's almost like someone had to throw her in the oven, lock her in the oven, and then start the thing and put it on, 475.
Did anyone here say that she would have to crouch down? Was I the only one who heard that?
Crouch.
No, she said crotch.
Oh, she said crouch down?
It sounded like it.
Well, she said she's 5'1", and she would have to crouch down to get into the walk-in oven?
That's what she meant, yeah.
So, I mean, these ovens are used tens of thousands of times every day.
Oh, my God.
And there's never been anything like this. So, I mean, this is really suspect.
The investigation is complex, involves several partner agencies. An investigation of this nature may take a significant amount of time, said the Halifax police in a statement. But again, how did it get activated? How did it get locked? I mean, could somebody do this on their own accidentally or intentionally? Or does it take somebody else? The video that we just heard the audio from, it seems that it's impossible for this person to get locked in and the oven to be put on if they were all by themselves, that they could not do this themselves.
Do we have anybody listening right now that works at like the Walmart bakery? Call in the next little couple minutes. I don't know. There's a GoFundMe for the family. If you look it up online, you'll find it. Already at almost $195,000.
That's Canadian. So $194,949 Canadian is just a little over $46 US. All right, so it's a little more. But
it's a little more.
Last I saw, the Canadian dollar's like 72 cents. What is the current?
It would be $140,000 US.
Give me the current exchange rate. Canadian, Canada US exchange rate. What is the current?
Exchange rate.
Yeah, I think it's last I saw it was like 72.
There you go.
72 cents. is what the Canadian dollar is worth against the U.S. dollar. Anyway, anyone from Walmart? Seriously, is anybody listening from Walmart and you work in the bakery or you used to work in the bakery? Call me. Let me know. Excuse me. Getting all choked up over this story.
I did get a message. Husband used to be a supervisor at Walmart in Bay Pines, and the ovens there do not lock from the outside or the inside, so someone would have to force it locked from the outside, at least at those stores.
Well, the oven that the woman shows on the video, there's a mechanism where you have to push it closed, and then you have to like push the bar like over and back to deliberately like have a locking mechanism. All right, if anyone works at Walmart and you work in the bakery and you've got any comments on the walk-in oven and this crazy story, 800-990-1047 gets you through. 800-990-1047 gets you right on. Hey, my friends at Veterans Ford want to take care of you, especially if your car was wrecked. Look at this. Ask and you shall receive. I asked for a former or current Walmart bakery employee to ask about the walk-in Walmart oven, and we got Shane in Tampa. Shane, welcome to the MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM Q105.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Shane, how you doing this morning?
I'm good this morning. So, to me, that story's a little bit fishy because I worked at two different location Walmarts. Both of the ovens were different in models. Same functionality, obviously, for, safety purposes. But both had a release latch on the inside, and both of them had to be forced closed. So if you kind of just soft close the door, it would, ricochet back open, so it wouldn't close. So you would have to put some force behind it and latch it.
Yeah, so in the video did you hear me play the audio?
Yes, I heard the audio.
All right, so in that particular Walmart walk-in oven in the bakery, you have to close it with force, and then you have to take this long bar handle and deliberately, push it over to the right and snap it back. I mean, it takes force to close this thing.
It does, and that's kind of an older model. There's a few newer ones, but it does the same thing with the handle. You have to force it closed, and you have to make sure that handle latches before you could even go to the oven settings to turn it on.
All right, Shane, so hearing the story about a 19-year-old young woman at a Walmart up in Canada, how the hell could she get locked in the oven and have the oven turned on where she gets baked to death?
My question exactly. So that's a little bit off to me because both ovens I worked at, different models, same functionality, both had to be forced closed and latched to even turn on, and there was a release on the inside. So something's not adding up.
All right, so if you were like a CSI investigator, you would say that something's fishy here, that this could be murder.
For the simple fact that even if I'm inside it and the door is swung open and the door swings closed, it's not going to latch. It just kind of bounces off.
Yeah.
It almost acts like a soft closed door where it just slowly gets to the point, but it ricochets right back. I have to actually put force behind that door and latch it to then even operate the oven functions for that to happen.
All right, so you're Shane, CSI crime scene investigator, and you're saying that this has got to be murder.
That is the case.
Thank you, Shane. I appreciate you calling. What do you do now? If you're former Walmart, what do you do now?
No, absolutely. So right now I'm back in manufacturing.
All right. What do you make? What kind of stuff?
Medical electronics.
Fantastic. Hey, Shane, thanks for. Do you listen to us every day?
Here and there when I catch you guys. I'm a second shift, so if I'm up in the morning, I listen to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, try to listen as much as you can. Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
All right. What are you?
MJ,
What are you chortling at over there?
She's like, hey, I got my second shift. I take a nap if I hear here and there.
What are you gonna say, Roxanne?
No cameras in the oven, but like, aren't there clues on security cameras somewhere within Walmart?
Should be. I mean, that came up last week when we talked about this. This is just a creepy, weird ass story. That's why I'm spending time on it. And that came up last week that Walmart, it's like a freaking casino in there with all the cameras in that place.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I always think of Walmart's being every angle they have access to just for liability purposes. Not that somebody's watching the camera all the
They've
time.
got so many cameras in Walmart. If you look carefully, you'll see some guy with a monkey paw on one of the slot machines over where the dollar slots are.
You got to be watching the cams to catch that guy.
And they're going to rip you back, take you to the back room, and put your head in a vice, or saw off your fingers or something.
Smash your hand or something.
Yeah, that's a weird story, man. That's what I'm fascinated with that story. I mean, not like from a gruesome, morbid standpoint. Well, maybe, but it's just a crazy, crazy story.
I just want to know more information about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen to this. What is an answer that you give in a job interview where a CEO says you're not getting the job? So let me rephrase this. I think you understand what I said.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a job interview and you're asked a question and you belt out this answer. This particular CEO says, boop, nope, you're not getting the job with that answer.
Would you steal from us?
Nope, nope. It's a good question.
Well, thank you for the question. I'd like to tell you my explosive diarrhea is managed right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if somebody's interviewing and they have explosive diarrhea, you're like,
And you work in a fudge factory, right?
No.
Oh.
That's hysterical and disgusting
All right.
all at the same time. No, but yeah, what is it about? Is it a character thing? Is it you tell them, hey, yeah, by the way, I killed my whole family, but I've turned a corner now.
No.
I'm a changed man.
No.
You know.
Is it, I'm trying to think, something salary related?
Yes. The salary you're offering me.
You know what? I'm going to go to phones on this.
Needs to be tripled.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to phones. 907 here on the MJ Morning Show. You're asked a question in a job interview, and if you say this, you're not getting the job. According to this particular, is someone typing over there?
Yeah, that was me.
I'm just hearing just.
Continue.
What are you doing over there? What are you typing?
Oh,
I'm writing a report about you.
She's
Taking notes. Continue.
She's taking notes.
Your stenographer.
I don't want to go to the phones on this. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. So you're on a job interview. You're asked this question. If you answer it in this way, you're not getting the job. According to a CEO, which I got to believe that others also adhere or subscribe to this ideology. All right. 800, what do you think it is? What do you think the question is? And then what your answer would be. It's very common.
Is it one of those trap questions?
No, it's really not. It's really...
Yeah, good question, Fester.
You know what? It doesn't appear to be a trick question, but it's kind of... Maybe it's turned into a telling, insightful... But it's not inherently a trick question. No, I think it's a very fair, valid question that a lot of interviewers ask.
I mean,
All right, so what do you think it is? 800-990-1047. Let's go. Hit the phones. What do you think it is? 800-990-1047.
I haven't sat for a formal job interview since Sam's Club in 1993.
Wow.
And even that, I think the guy was drunk during the interview. But there are trap questions like, what is your greatest weakness? Or something like that. Where it's like a
no, it's not it.
Something like that.
No, it is not. It's not like a psychological, insightful question. All right, let's go. 800-990-1047. If you'd like to guess, you're asked a question, And then if you answer in this fashion, this particular CEO says you're not getting the job. Let's grab Jeff in Bradenton. Jeff, you're on the MJ Morning Show. What do you think the question is?
Well, you're a smoker.
No, it's not smoker. So
can they ask if you're a smoker? I don't know. Like, there's certain questions they can't ask.
Could they ask if you're a joker?
Or
joker?
A toker.
Or a midnight toker.
Or a midnight toker.
Midnight toker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve Milligan.
Yeah.
Some people call me the space cowboy.
Listen, Jeff, not a bad guess, but that's not what I'm looking for. Thank you. How about Tim in Plant City? Tim, MJ Morning Show. Hello.
Good morning. Yeah, is it a workman's comp claim?
It is not. Nothing.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, you a blessed morning.
Man, sounds like you got the pedal to the metal, man.
Yeah, I'm out here with this big heavy truck pulling his lawn equipment out here trying to get it all cleaned up for everybody.
All right, Tim. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Tim.
Let me grab Lori. Lori's not screened yet. Let me grab Karen. Hello, Karen. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hey, MJ. I've got a guess.
Oh, you're in New Bern, North Carolina.
Yeah, but...
Hey, guess what's in New Bern, North Carolina? The company that makes my new radio console for the new studio that I don't think I'll ever see. Have you ever heard of? You ever heard of the Wheatstone Corporation?
No.
Yeah, Wheatstone.
No, not at all.
Yeah, Wheatstone. The radio consoles, the control boards are made by Wheatstone in New Bern, North Carolina. My kids went to like Camp Seagull, and you heard of that?
Oh, wow. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I have a nephew that went to Camp Seagull last year.
Yeah, so you have Seagull, and what's the other one? There's one for the girls, one for the boys. My kids both went to those summer camps.
Oh no, this one was co-ed.
I thought there was one for the girls, one for the boys. Anyway, all right. So what's your guess, Lori? I'm sorry, Karen. Go ahead.
It's okay. My guess is, where are you going to be in 5 years?
Good guess, but that's not it. No.
See, that's one of those trap questions, because if they say where you're going to be in 5 years, and you're like, yeah, not at this crap hole company.
Or how about your boss?
Yeah.
Karen, thanks for the call. Let me grab Lori now. Lori's screened. Lori in Newport Richie, what is the question? Do you know?
I think it would be, my salary would depend on what my duties are.
Nope.
No.
It is not, but thanks for guessing.
Is it salary related?
It is not.
Okay.
Hannah in Trinity. I'll take two more calls and then I'll just give it away. Hannah in Trinity. Go ahead.
How about not a team player?
I'm not a team player.
Oh, so the question would be, are you a team player?
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah.
And then someone says, no, I'm miserable. I'm horrific to get along with. I have a personality disorder. I'm toxic.
Oh, all of it.
Yeah.
I don't get along with others. I work by myself.
I don't play well with others.
Sometimes jobs require somebody just to sit down and work. I don't need you to get along with everybody. Just do your job.
All right, Hannah, good guess, but not what we're looking for. Thank you. All right, last call. Luigi in Tampa. Hello, Luigi.
Hey, MJ. I was trying to say the same thing. Are you a team player?
Nope, incorrect. All right, I'm going to reveal. Luigi, turn your radio up.
All right.
Incorrect. Thanks for calling.
Going back to New Bern, North Carolina.
Yes.
Chloe just sent me a text. She went to Camp Seagull. Julian went to a different one. Went to Camp Sea Chaser?
Seafarer.
Seafarer?
I think it's Seafarer.
Seafarer, yeah, Seafarer.
So, Camp Seagull and Seafarer. Yeah, so I drove through New Bern.
Julian went to Seagull. She went to Seafarer.
Whatever the heck it is. All right. Anyway, they great camps. They loved them. All right, so here's the answer. A CEO reveals a question asked, a question answered, and if you answer in this particular fashion, you ain't getting a job. The question is, when can you start? When can you start the new job? If anyone gives an answer that is less than 2 weeks, nope.
What? Because it's respect for your current employer?
That, and why are you available so quickly?
Less than 2 weeks.
It's a couple of things. Yeah. So it's got to be less. It's got to be more than 2 weeks. When can you start? Because also, if you're currently employed, it's also an indication that it's no way to treat a former employee.
Yeah, that's a good
Just
point.
to leave them high and dry, walk out on them, screw you, double F, F bomb fingers and, go screw yourself,
Yeah, like how I'm going to leave here.
Wait, you're double middle finger burning it on the way out?
Every one of them.
Well, it's one or the other, right? Or they send you that way.
Yeah, I mean, MJ, think about it. I don't know.
That's pretty much the radio business these days,
That depends on the industry, though. I mean, like, for example.
Listen, I've gotten everything I've wanted out of this business. If this ends tomorrow, then,
Listen, you call your friend Lorenzo over at Veterans Ford. If a salesman comes to him and says, hey, I'm giving my 2 weeks notice, his last day was yesterday. I mean,
Not always.
No, you don't keep somebody on. A lot of jobs, you don't keep somebody on if they're looking for the door.
A lot of jobs, if you turn in your notice, they'll let you go immediately. Like, listen, over in West Palm Beach, when I turned in my notice, when I was doing the morning show, the MJ morning show on WOVV in West Palm Beach, just before I came to Tampa in early '94 to get a job at the Power Pig, I said, hey, I'm going to turn in my 2 weeks notice. I got a job offer. I'm going to take it. And they said 2 weeks won't be necessary. If you don't mind, just pack things up now. And
let's get it over with.
Yeah, get it over with.
Yeah.
And by the way, that general manager turned out to be a good friend of mine. After he was really for a couple of years, he was really pissed at me because I was really building a story in West Palm Beach with that particular radio station. It was 95.5 in West Palm Beach. And the GM was pissed at me because I was the morning guy. I was the program director as well. And I did a lot of stuff over there. And then I left him, to take the Power Pig job, which was the right career decision for me.
Well, you go to the corner office here and say, hey, listen, my last show is going to be the one before Thanksgiving.
You know what? I'm going to go turn in my notice right after the show today.
If that's the case, then
I'm going to turn in my 2 weeks today.
Then this is your last show.
I just want to test it. I want to see if they'll keep me.
I mean, it's one thing, I guess, if you took inbound calls for something where it wasn't, okay, we need you till we find somebody else for the role. But a lot of offices, I think, more than you'd think, if you don't want to be here, then we don't need you here, and away you go.
Yeah, but I feel like employers who recognize that, okay, we might want to do business with this person again. They've offered us 2 weeks, we may as well take it, or take a week, or
Well, that's, I thought, a very interesting question.
When can you start?
Yeah. Anything less than 2 weeks?
Red flag.
You're out. Total red flag. Absolutely. Oh, this is pretty cool. Great marketing gimmick. Samsonite with a new luggage line. They attached a piece of luggage to like a weather balloon. They took it up to like 127,000 feet and dropped it in the Nevada desert.
That's a great commercial.
Oh, my God, you got to see. Yeah, they've gone beyond the gorillas in a zoo cage, throwing them around. That used to be an old ad. They gave gorillas Samsonite suitcases, and you saw the gorillas just slamming them all over the inside of the primate cage at a zoo.
So they attach it to like one of those weather balloons or something?
Yeah, it was like a weather balloon, and this was a big operation. The video is fantastic. And I actually had Andrew pull some audio from the video, and it's like a 3.5 minute video of like the setup and the launch. Look at this. This Samsonite suitcase fell 130,000 feet from space with zero damage. This is from Leisure and Travel website. I was like, man, this is great.
Isn't there a point where it only
that kind of crap is right up my alley.
Isn't there a point where it only goes so fast?
It's called terminal velocity.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So how fast was it falling?
You know what? It's on the screen on what I think it was 255 miles an hour
That's
or something.
pretty fast.
Yeah, it is.
If you look at the screen, bring the video up. Fester, you got the video right there.
It's a video.
So, yeah, just go ahead and expand it. Make it big.
Okay.
Go ahead. Make it full screen. And then fast forward in, and then you can see the, sorry. Keep going. And then once it's, there you go. So speed.
It's still connected right now.
Yeah. Once they drop it, look at the speed.
Oh, man.
When it's coming down. All right. Go right before it hits. And they video the whole thing.
just broke through the clouds. It's falling down. The guy's looking at it.
And so it's in the clouds, and then it's all like radio controlled. Then they drop it, and then it's really incredible. But it does hit, I'm sure, the terminal velocity. Hey, listen to the audio on this as they drop it. Hang on, where's the audio here? Hang on a minute. Oh, here it is. Listen to this.
We're looking at clear skies, low winds, and safe flight paths.
Tracking online. Initiating fill process. Cameras online. Samsonite, you are cleared for launch. Launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All systems nominal. Foxx ascending smoothly. Foxx has now surpassed the height.
It took like from 130,000 feet or 127,000. It took like 35 seconds for it to fall. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, initial descent speeds are showing over 250 miles an hour. Touchdown to Earth.
All right, so it says that it dropped at 250 miles an hour.
There it is. Foxx survived a 130,000-foot drop.
Look at this.
And is in perfect condition. Mission accomplished.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
This is rigged.
The point is if they're saying if our suitcase can be dropped from space at 130,000 feet up, that it can survive some horrific baggage handlers at LaGuardia.
Yeah, should be able to, in theory.
This is fixed.
Why is that?
Because when it's really, really high in space, it's like falling like a rock, 250 miles an hour. As it's getting closer to Earth, it's slowing down, and then it makes impact like at 12 miles an hour, 10, 12 miles an hour. So it didn't hit the Earth with the force of a comet. It slowed down as it got closer to the Earth.
I don't. What slowed it down? I don't know.
I mean the atmospheric thickness. I don't know. The air's thinner up there.
I didn't see any indication that they had any kind of like dampering or anything to slow it down.
No, just I don't know. I'm telling you, I'm not a fall expert, but it's showing its speed was 10 miles an hour on impact.
That's impossible.
I'm telling you, I'm watching the same video you are. Right. I'm watching a video that Samsonite put out, and look how close it was to electrical lines. You really want to show me a video? Throw your luggage up on that electrical line.
It does look like there are some high-tension overhead power lines.
Right there.
Oh, you're correct. All right, 9:21 at the MJ Morning Show. When we get back, it's the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show in minutes. Oh, a flyer is suing JetBlue.
Ooh,
what did JetBlue do to this passenger? Ouch. That's all I'm going to say. That's the teaser. Ouch. Also, got some, some newish details on the Rays at the Trop and what's going to happen with the upcoming season. We'll get to that coming up in just a bit. Anyway, I've got a lot to cram into the final segment of the MJ Morning Show, and that is next here on 104.7 FM, Q105. 9:30 at the MJ Morning Show. Welcome to the final chunk of show for the day. Had some great pizza yesterday, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is I do have a pizza story, and in no way is my pizza experience yesterday reflective of this particular story. First, the craziness. First, the insanity. Stop the insanity! Who said that?
Was that some workout person?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Stop the insanity.
I remember she had like really short yellow hair, red blonde hair.
Was it Denise?
Nope.
Denise
it was
Austin?
Susan Powder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny. I brought that up intentionally because there's actually a Susan Powder story today as well. Stop the insanity. All right, here's the deal.
How do I not know Susan Powder?
She was like a 90s fitness guru.
Yeah, late 80s, 90s, right? Yeah. All right. How the hell does this happen? Well, I can take a few guesses. Pizza shop serves up a THC-laced pie. Dozens of customers sickened. Wisconsin pizza parlor accidentally served THC-laced pie to dozens of people. An outbreak, illness, calls to paramedics. Famous Yeti's Pizza of Staunton, Wisconsin, was baking both pies, and their customers this week. A cook unwittingly grabbed oil infused with Delta 9.
Oh, no.
Why the hell is Delta 9? Is there also Delta 8? Is there a Delta 8 and a Delta 9?
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a form of THC. And this was, I guess, somehow near the food preparation area.
Maybe like one of the cooks was making something for himself.
They were making a batch of dough. What the hell? And then they poisoned people. Famous Yeti's Pizza closed its doors on Fridays to purge the contaminated oil from its equipment. Yeah, I'm looking at the door sign. We are closed Friday, October 25th for deep cleaning and prep. We apologize for any inconvenience and hope to see you soon. Yeti's family. Jeez.
So there is a Delta 8 and a Delta 9.
Okay, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Delta 9 marijuana products are produced from cannabinoids found in cannabis. In the cannabis plant, Delta 8s are used.
Synthetic.
Unregulated,
man-made.
Gotcha.
chemically made.
So it's natural versus synthesized. Gotcha. All right. So how does this happen? You had law enforcement, you had EMS. They were all alerted because they were receiving calls. They transported dozens of people. So the whole because you make a huge. You've seen those huge like Hobart like mixers. The giant floor mixers and bakeries and pizza shops.
You can get 100 doughs out of it.
You're making a gigantic, it's like a ball of dough like the size of you, Fester. And then they part out the dough and they get the dough balls. My God.
And the pizzas went out. The whole town got high.
And Delta 9 infused marijuana THC oil gets into the dough. And, dozens of people because you got dozens of balls of dough. It's coming out of this.
I mean, it was probably done
batch.
the day before because the balls have to proof, right?
Yeah, listen.
They have to rise.
Yeah, listen, the sweet spot. It really depends on the pizza you're making. But, you know who's coming in tomorrow?
What's his face?
Come on.
Sardo.
Yes.
What's his face?
Super
Yeah,
Sardo.
he's coming in tomorrow?
Yeah, Super Sardo.
Yay.
We got Super Sardo from Sardo's Pizza on Ulmerton out in Largo. He's coming in tomorrow.
Fantastic.
But listen, different pizza shops. For a regular pizza, you generally want dough that's like at least 2 days old. So you want dough that's been kind of hanging and proofing and kind of
like quadruples in size,
like doing its thing.
Yeah.
You do not want fresh pizza dough. So like a pizza restaurant, if they run out of dough and they have to rush and make a batch,
forget it.
Pizza's not going to be good.
No.
You got to have dough that's a couple of days old. And listen, some of the trying to think, like Jamie, who's the owner of Nona Slice House. He does 3 different pizzas. I think he's going to be adding new styles soon as well. But his Detroit, that's I'm trying to remember. It's a long process for that dough to ferment. That's part of the beauty behind his classic Detroit slice is a long fermentation period on the dough. And that's how you get that flavor and that insight. So I don't know how this happens. Why the hell is a bottle of Delta 9 THC oil doing near a kitchen and then it falls into the dough? Sounds like more of a prank to me.
Yeah,
it
really
sounds like,
does.
hey, let's see how many people. Hey, people got the munchies. Let's really give them the munchies.
Right, like the pot brownie prank.
Yeah. Awful. Anyway, speaking of pizza, so they're closed for a deep cleaning. Did people go back to Yeti's pizza shop after people were poisoned with THC oil? Unbelievable.
Crazy.
Oh, listen to this. Facebook post. In the past few days, we at Famous Yetis made a horrendous mistake, and in doing so, compromised the trust and love that we've spent 12 and a half years building with this amazing town. Oh, this was a letter addressed to the community.
All right. Thank you,
Wow.
Yeti.
Oh, that's crazy. Anyway, speaking of pizza, I had unbelievably good pizza and cheesesteak yesterday up in Philadelphia. Let me tell you, if you're in and I'm not an expert on Philly pizza.
Philadelphia's has some great pizza.
Yeah, you know what? Philadelphia is truly becoming a decent pizza town.
I've seen people argue that the best pizza is in Pennsylvania.
Nah.
Maybe Wilkes-Barre, Scranton.
Get out of
area.
here.
I'm telling
No,
you.
it's not.
I'm telling you.
Listen, New Haven, Connecticut is amazing. The spots in the boroughs of New York City or, some of my list is crazy. And listen, I'm very tough on pizza. I only think that about 5%, maybe less, of pizza is what I consider to be in the bowl game. So I'm a very, very tough pizza critic.
You're very particular.
I'm very particular. And there are places locally where people say, oh, man, you got to try this. And I'm like, I have. And there's one particular place that I'm not going to mention the name. I don't do that. But there's one particular place that people seem to love. And every time I'm nearby, I give it a shot. And it's like the dough's not salted enough. It doesn't quite hit it for me. No, it's not that one. That's not even in I don't even give that one a shot, Andrew. No, but I'm tough on pizza. Very tough. So yesterday, my God, it was great. Oh, if you're in Philadelphia, Angelo's.
Oh, Angelo's.
Angelo's Pizzeria on 9th. So they open.
Is that a famous one? I feel like I've heard of it.
Angelo's is well known, yes. So Angelo's is on 9th in Philly. We get there 17 minutes early. They opened at 11 a.m. on a Sunday, and we got there at about 11:43. And there's already a line that's like out the front door, around the corner. It wasn't terrible. We were probably 20-something in line. And the line, once they took your order, went very, very quickly. They're very efficient. And then we ordered their upside down, more like a grandma pie. We ordered their upside down, which is like a Sicilian style. And then we ordered the regular pie. And then we ordered 2 steaks, one with, one without. You know what that is?
What?
First of all, you don't call them cheesesteaks. They're called steaks. Okay. So you hear people say, hey, let's get a Philly cheesesteak. But it's listen, I still will say Philly cheesesteak, but they just call them steaks up there.
Yeah, when in Rome.
And you know what, what happens when you order wit and without?
Wit and without.
Wit and without.
Is it can't be onions.
What is wit? Yes, it is.
Is onions.
So it's the steak with cheese and onions is wit. And then without is without onions.
You know what's funny? We had an onion incident this weekend because Doug hates onions. And I love onions, but I stopped eating them ever since I met him, basically, to appease him. And our daughter, so he's banned onions from the house.
Yeah. I'm not a cooked onion person.
Yeah.
Hey, guess who else has banned onions?
Who?
McDonald's and the Quarter Pounder.
Yeah, good
with
point.
So why are they coming out with the story again over the weekend? We've narrowed it down. They said we've ruled out the meat meat patty in the Quarter Pounder as the source of the E. coli outbreak. I thought they'd already done that. Last week, there was like midweek, there were stories that it's the onions that they suspect. Anyway, so back to your onion. So now I don't like raw onions. I cooked onions all day.
Onions all day. Okay. So this weekend, whatever day it was, I think it was Thursday or Friday, Doug was gone. And Evelyn and I go, do you want to eat some onions? Well, our daughter now loves onions. She just figured it out. So she and I had chicken salad, avocado, onions. It was delicious. And Daddy came home and he was like, what? Steak's in here?
Oh, really?
And I still feel like I'm sweating onions. Like they really do make people stinky.
Anyway, if you're in Philadelphia, Angelo's Pizzeria. Now make sure it's Angelo's Pizzeria on 9th Street.
Oh, thank you.
In South Philly. It's right down from like the little their Little Italy down there.
Oh, is it near that broken bell they have?
It's like their version of Arthur Avenue in the Bronx. It's fantastic. It's great. All little markets and family stores. Yeah.
Thanks for the update on Philadelphia.
Yeah, so it was fantastic. Angelo's. Oh, check out the video I shot. We're eating. There's no eating in this place. It's just takeout, and we're around the block, and we're in a parking space. I've got the pizzas and the steaks on the hood of the car of the Hertz rental vehicle. So the video is on my Instagram if you want to take a look at Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. Hey, Roxanne, can you explain, speaking of Doug and traveling, my God, he leaves you guys like every weekend now.
I mean, listen.
Is he ever home?
I don't get in the way of anything he does, and he doesn't get in the way of anything I do.
All right. So do you guys just kind of do your own things, or?
No, I mean, like, I support him. This is fun. He went to the World Series. I was like,
the World Series.
Yeah, the World Series.
Why didn't he bring you to the World Series?
Because I have a family and children to take care of. So we have
bring the kids too.
And a radio morning show too.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
So let me ask a question here.
And a midday show.
In your email to me last night with a couple of prep link stories, you write, Doug flew United today and was pissed.
Yeah.
Because they make you give your credit card when you print your boarding pass in case you need to check your carry-on at the gate.
Yeah.
But they don't charge you to print, right? But some of the airlines, like Spirit and Frontier, some of the airlines will charge you a fee to print your boarding pass. Why does he need to print the boarding pass? Why doesn't he have the app on his phone and have a digital app?
I don't know, but all I know is he was mad because he went to the gate in LAX, and he said that he went to the airport.
Went
at
to
LAX.
the gate at LAX, and
Yep.
the Britney song was on. The Britney song was on. Yeah, go ahead.
And they totally said you have to put your credit card in.
Hold on, Roxanne.
Just to do the
That
boarding.
was really close, MJ.
What?
The
Yeah, it
Britney
was.
song come up.
Yeah.
I mean, you weren't that far off. Party in the USA.
Exactly.
I mean, you were really.
Yeah, you were close.
Wow.
Right.
Yep, you hit those notes.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so anyhow, he was mad. And I asked him like 3 times. I go, let me get this straight. They make you put your credit card in now? And he's like, yeah, so that they can take your, like if you have a bag that needs to get checked, then they're going to charge you.
They use the
charge you
credit
for it.
card to identify your reservation. You can either put in your information or you can just scan your credit card and it pulls the information from your credit card to populate your reservation to do what you need to do.
Okay.
That's why they take your credit card.
Well,
it's to identify you.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, that's what these kiosks do. But again, why does he need to print out a paper boarding pass? You have the United app on your phone, and you've got your boarding pass on your phone.
I have no idea. All I know is he had something to complain about. Other than that, he said the World Series Game 1 was one of the best World Series games he's ever been to in his life. Yeah. And he's been to quite a few.
What was the home run last night in the
Friday night there was a walk-off home run in
what was the
inning, I think.
Okay, so maybe that I haven't seen any of it, but I've read about it. Yeah. There was some story about
Game 1, the World Series goes to extra innings.
An OMG World Series legendary. Was that the home run at the end?
Yeah.
Was it a grand slam?
So it was a grand slam
Right.
walk-off home run by Freddie Freeman, and it was one of the most iconic moments in the history of baseball.
By Freddie Flicka?
Close.
Who was it?
Freeman. Everybody knows the Kirk Gibson Dodgers home run that he hit in Game 1 of the World Series versus the A's 30-some-odd years ago. It was that kind of home run, and it was amazing. A grand slam. Really incredible. And then Saturday night, Game 2, the Yankees lose with bases loaded. They couldn't get one more hit to get some people home. So both of the World Series games so far have been pretty close and really exciting.
Yeah, living up to the L.A. New York matchup, and then tonight's going to be super exciting.
Well, listen, the Yankees got to get with the program,
Yeah.
but Fester, what were you saying, that there have been plenty of 0-2 comebacks?
So I know this because I saw it on like those little chyrons that pop up during the game, but the last 2 World Series winners, which I could not name for $100,
We're down
0-2.
They were down 2 games and they came back?
According to the little blurb at the bottom of the screen.
A blurb?
After the Yankees lost their second game.
I love blurps. In fact, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven and get a blurpee later on. All right, final item today. The JetBlue story.
Let's hear it.
A New Jersey passenger is suing JetBlue. Why? Because the ice cream they served on JetBlue was dangerously cold. You're like, what? What? Huh?
What?
Well, where are you getting ice cream on JetBlue? You get popcorners. I mean, where are you getting jet? All right. So it was one of their international flights. So it's catered a little more extensively. A New Jersey woman is suing JetBlue over what the lawsuit says is dangerously cold ice cream. It was an ice cream sandwich, and it broke her front tooth on an international flight. Holy crap. Yeah, Carla Quinones of Perth Amboy, New Jersey, was flying from New York City to Paris back on August 20th. That's Chloe's birthday. Happy birthday, Chloe, August 20th. When the crew members failed to warn her that the strawberry shortcake flavored dessert was frozen solid, according to a federal lawsuit filed late last week. Yeah, she claims that it busted her tooth. As she bit down on the treat, she cracked her upper left incisor and had to get it pulled in an emergency dental procedure after landing in France. Oh, you want to find the French dentist? So sometimes you get a very stale baguette and you break a tooth on the baguette. What the hell am I doing? I get paid for this crap. What's going on here? Anyway, I'm turning in back 2 weeks today. See what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah. Anyway, had to get her tooth, I guess, pulled, and the lawsuit was filed in the Eastern District of New York. Yeah, Quinones is feeling
I'm very happy towards JetBlue for serving the temperature. You know, I've had ice cream on airplanes in the past, and I guess they freeze those things to like a ridiculous temperature, like minus 60, and they freeze them to like the consistency of like a cinder block or like a brick, because you know they want it to remain somewhat frozen during the flight, and sometimes that stuff stays really, really frozen. I've had some really hard ice cream where you got to let it sit out for like an hour before you can like chip through it with a spoon and not have a jackhammer. So anyway, she's upset. Yeah, a root fracture. It effed her up. So she's now. I mean, you think does she have a case, or is this ridiculous?
I mean, just the headline sounds ridiculous, but then when you hear some of the details, maybe there's something there.
Yeah, don't you like take a little bit of a bite? You kind of test the waters on the ice cream. Is it soft? Is it hard? You know, what's the story? Sounds like she just went into like total like chop mode, you know, and busted her toofus. All right, with that, I think we got to roll. Anything else before we go?
That is it.
All right. We'll call it a day. And we'll see you back here tomorrow on the MJ Morning Show on Q105, 104.7 FM. Oh, if you want to see our phenomenal pizzas and Philly steaks yesterday in Philadelphia, go to my Instagram, Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. See the video. Give me a follow while you're there, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. MJ Morning Show on 104.7 FM, Q105. And do me a favor. Let's be careful out there.
The Q105 app is your connection to all the big contests. Powered